Everyone, welcome to the stream. We are here. We're back for another Tier List Tuesday. I'm hoping you can hear me. I'm sure I'll get it updated in 2 seconds if you do not. But I think everything's good. I think we're all set up here. And today's going to be an interesting one. Today is going to be a fun situation for all involved because we're going to be talking about condiments, but you're going to argue with us about some of them not being condiments. I did check the wiki. These are all there, but for all intents, to make sure everyone feels heard, it's condiments slash dips slash sauces. Basically, if you want to use this to put some flavoring into your meal, it counts.
And it's wet.
And it's there. You had to start. You had to get the first one out of the way. To 1 minute in. And of course, you heard her. You see her. She's up here. It's Jenny. Jenny, how are you? And are you ready to find out what the sauces are saying?
I am so ready. I think that when I was on Which One Wednesday with Jordan Kalish a couple weeks ago, I'm pretty sure during that one I proclaimed my love for wet food. Like a cat.
Yes.
And so it's no lie that I'm very passionate about dips, sauces, condiments. So it seemed like the perfect thing for a tier list Tuesday.
Yeah, and this
It's
was
hard because I love a lot of things.
and this was your idea. This was what you wanted to do. You picked this, and I think this is a good one to talk about. I think because I didn't know, well, once I got the list and I sat there and I looked at it, I'm like, yeah, no. Now I know I have opinions on this for sure. Because initially I'm like, well, I like condiments. I'm not going to say no to condiments. And then I was like, there's definitely condiments here that I would definitely yeet and not want to have in the mix. So I'm just excited. I'm excited to find out where we stand on these things and how mad the chat's going to be today. But let's go.
I feel like, a lot of these things are very contentious. And so, that's the perfect thing to debate.
Yeah.
I have a feeling you and I are not going to agree on some things. And, I'm very passionate about some of these items that we're going to rank here. So
Yeah, and I'm excited to find out what your weird food thing is, since we found out that your better half, or your other half, let's say, likes apples and salt and vinegar. Yeah, I can't say better half and then say he likes apple with salt and vinegar. So, yeah, I know he's not there right now, so I can comfortably.
It's not like the grossest thing, but like there was one day he was eating it and I was just like, the smell was just nauseating. And I love vinegar, but it was just like, it was literally like he was just eating a bowl of vinegar with apple.
Okay.
We won't need to go there. There's no vinegar today.
Yeah, no, we can hop right over. So if you have do you have the stream open, Jenny?
I popped out the chat, but now it's not. I can get it back up.
Okay. Well, I'll quickly transition us over to the one with the browser. Boom. There you go. Everything should be very clear over here.
Trying to keep my internet afloat.
Yes, that's fair. That's fair.
I told Phil that when he came back, he wasn't allowed to play Hearthstone because it kills the bandwidth.
Yeah, you're like, we got limitations today. So as always, we gotta have the categories ready. We gotta have what the genres are, what the top to bottom is called. So bottom ranking, as has become the main feature, is bin 'em. If we don't like it, if it's the worst of the worst, it's getting binned. It's bin 'em. The fourth one is kind of dumb, but run with me here. It's condiment, because it's dumb. So it's not great, but it's also not bin-worthy. That's where it would be. And then the next one is, it's just sauce. Like, I'll have it, but it doesn't matter. I don't need it. I can have this meal without it, but if it's there, I'll throw it on. Sure, sounds good. And then we got dip 'em for the second tier. Dip 'em is very self-explanatory. If it's there and if you're eating something, you're more likely going to dip it in there because you want it. So easy. And then awesome sauce is the top tier. We can call it awesome sauce. We can go sauce boss, whatever we want to call it. But that is the number one tier for today. Are you okay with all these 5 names we put out there for today?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about a play on words with condiment, and I think it was like the other way around, where it was like condiment was like, it was like mint, like that's the best.
Yeah.
But I approve awesome sauce being the top, makes sense. Dip 'em, yes, it's just sauce. I feel like condiment, like
It's a stretch.
It's not so much that it's a stretch, but it's just I feel like it's a little too negative, but it's fine. Like it's fine for one tier above absolute venom.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I think that this works.
Okay, that sounds good. That sounds good. And
Yeah.
it seems like everyone's saying the stream is good. Raul, maybe hit a refresh, and we should be good there. So you have the list. I have the list. The audience can see the list. But let's start with you nominating something, and then we'll start doing the old back and forth. But let's give you the honors of starting us off here.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's.
Boris.
Oh, I don't even know where I want to start. Let's go with a classic. Let's the straight up yellow mustard.
Yellow
We're not
mustard.
gonna forget the mustard
It's karate
today.
time.
It is karate time.
Okay, so classic regular old middle mustard. And by middle, I mean in the middle of sweet and Dijon. So,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on mustard? And let's talk about where we would use it. I guess that would
Yes.
matter a lot as well.
I think that's going to be a very important thing
Yeah.
for all of the discussion on all of these is that, like, is versatility a factor, or is it simply like you can't have this thing without it, so therefore it's very important?
Yeah.
For me, yellow mustard, spoiler, not my favorite mustard overall, but I think that it definitely has its place, and there's certain things where I would prefer to have a yellow mustard over a different mustard or even another condiment. I am definitely, I don't want to give too much of my opinions away ahead of time, but I would put mustard on hot dog. I would put mustard on a burger. I feel, but I could also live without it on those. Like if I'm at a barbecue or something and the mustard isn't there, someone forgot the mustard, it was karate time, I would survive. I wouldn't be like, how the hell am I going to eat this without mustard? The one thing I will say that really, like, a one food that really is elevated by the yellow mustard is like a smoked meat sandwich. Like a Montreal smoked meat. If you've ever had like legit Montreal smoked meat in Montreal, like that yellow mustard, you think like, oh, this sounds like a basic ass sandwich. No, that yellow mustard is a very important component of that particular thing. So I feel I'm not super, like I said, I can live without it. But I definitely like it more than some other things on this list.
I didn't like mustard at the start of my relationship with condiments. It wasn't in my list. I didn't like it.
With Liana.
Yeah, yeah. So she turned me on to them. No. Yeah, I didn't like them as a kid, but then once I started adding it to the old hot dog, it became like oh snap, this is actually giving it something. When I started putting mustard on my burger, it changed the game for me. I've loved burgers from as far back as I can remember. It's always a good experience. Mustard elevates it. I feel like with most condiments, I wouldn't mind if they're not there, my day isn't ruined per se. So for me, that metric personally doesn't end up being as strong. However, I would recognize mustard as it's got its place. It's got its place. It's not very versatile, ultimately, for me. I know that you can use it in many other places. For me, it's a fixture on hot dogs. It's a fixture on burgers. And the smoked meat point you put out there was very good. But then there are places where I could easily just use sweet mustard and be okay with it. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be mustard. If I don't have it, I'm not, like, the day isn't ruined. I'll just replace it with the sweet. It's fine. So like in the smoked meat, I could do that easily. I'd be okay with it. If I'm using a little bit to make some like chicken with, like, to marinate the chicken, I could do either or. They work fine. So for me, it ends up being in. For now, I'd put it in. It's just sauce because ultimately it also doesn't have the dip ability. So not only for sandwiches only, but like if I'm getting a 6-piece nuggets, I'm not gonna put it in just straight mustard. Most likely, I'll put it maybe, but not for like it's not a thing that I would go to first.
I think I completely agree with you. I wanted to talk it out first and then hear what you thought before before proclaiming my ranking.
Yeah.
But I feel similarly that it's just sauce. I can take it, I can leave it. I feel like it's really good on certain things, but the amount of things that I think that I would use it in or put it on is very, very limited.
Yeah.
And I just don't feel super, super passionate about it in general. So I think that it's just sauce makes a lot of sense. I
So
wouldn't bin it.
yeah, no, I wouldn't put it in. I think I would put it in.
Yeah.
It's just sauce. And what I'm gonna try and do today, gang, is after every single one we do, I'm gonna quickly look over at y'all in the chat and see what has been said and see if there's any comments that we can bring up to, further pepper in some opinions here. So a lot of people are talking about it being used in potato salad. As someone who's never made potato salad or only eaten potato salad, I can't speak on it. If mustard's in there, then and I've liked it, then good. but
I've never mixed it in a potato salad, but I know people who have done it.
yeah,
I
so
do think that the yellow mustard mixed with mayo can be a very special combination, but
okay,
I
like
don't think that it's the star
no,
ever.
I don't
I
think
don't
so
think that
either.
it's ever the star of
Yeah,
anything. It's like a good supporting actor, but only in certain kinds of films.
yeah.
Apparently, I'm just going. So I just feel like it's never going to be the star of any show, and for me, that just it makes sense to be, and it's just sauce.
Yeah, no, I'm
Um,
okay with that.
it works really well with like salty meats. It seems like
Yeah. Also, shout out.
it's got its place.
It's got its place, and that's the thing is that I don't think there's a way to like repurpose it and have it go the next step. Like we'll talk about these two instances, but like when mayo wasn't cutting it, aioli became a thing. I don't think there's a way to rebrand mustard and make it like a cooler thing because I think the cooler versions already exist in other forms that are also on this list. So it's there, it's fine. Shout out to Moist Man who's entered the chat now, trying to figure out who's been speaking on his name. You'll find out soon enough.
I will give mustard this. It is a low slash like almost no calorie condiment.
Yes.
And that is not to be discounted because as I've already mentioned, I like sauces, I like dips, I like if there can be a component that makes something more wet. Am I the moist woman? I don't know. I think wet woman is
the moist couple is I think what I'm gonna.
Moist man and the wet woman.
That's a book series not for children. I'll tell you that right
definitely
now.
Not. But I think that matters because especially if you're already indulging in something and you want to like amplify it with a sauce, it's nice to have something that has some good flavor to it that isn't adding a shit ton more calories to it. So I will give mustard that. That is definitely one of its perks.
Yeah, it is not easy to give good flavor with no calorie as the price. So if there's no calorie, it's like, hey, you're doing me a nice one. So I'm not gonna lie, mustard's one of those that right now it's starting in the middle. I could see mustard going up at some point if everything else gets ranked in a specific way, but we'll get there when we get there.
Okay.
I would like to nominate. Let's see. T Edits. Thank you for giving us the old follow. Appreciate you. Okay, let's go with. Okay, let's not stay in the mustard realm for the moment. Let's hop out. You talked about the mustard and mayo combination being a thing. You put this on the list, and I want to talk about it. Let's go with mayo chup next. Let's go with
mayo chup.
More
not mayo, there. But mayo chup. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So, mayo chup. The first memory I have of mayo chup was seeing the commercial back home in Dubai when I was like 8 years old, and like I was like, why is this a thing? But I was a dumb kid, and the commercial worked on me, so I convinced my mom. We got it, and it was.
Wait, mayo chup was a thing when you were 8 years old?
It was. I know that in North America it's like a whole new thing, but we've had it. We've had it for like ages.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
sure.
Yeah. So I did not. Okay, so 1 second. The chat's asking about mayo chup. I'm going to quickly put it on the old Google on the stream so that you can get a bigger image of it. It's this. It's the PPAP of condiments, where it's like I have a mayo, I have a ketchup, mayo chup. There. That's what it is. So it's basically mayo and ketchup merged in one container.
In harmony.
Yeah. Obviously, there's places where the two get combined on sandwiches, and
does it literally say saucy sauce?
It does say saucy sauce on it. That is actually A very, very cool way to brand it, I would argue. Um, but personally, I don't mind when the two mix in a sandwich I'm eating, or if I made my own like little dip, and like now if I made my dip, I'm fine with it. The mayo chup that gets sold in the store is too much one way or the other. I don't
Mm.
like it a lot. It would never be my first choice. I remember the one time we got it, we didn't keep getting it, and it was over. So I would much rather have both at my house and then make a executive decision of, oh, I want like maybe a little pump of ketchup, or oh, I want like a little extra mayo. I'm not gonna say pump of mayo because that's gross. I want a little like bit of mayo in here. I want to be the scientist that makes the decision of the
You
ratios.
control the ratio. Yeah.
I'm the condiment controller. Yeah. So I don't like that mayo
I
chip decides it for me. But what do you think of it?
so I will reveal that I've never had proper branded mayo chup. I've never bought it, but I have definitely mixed the two, and I've definitely enjoyed the melding of the two on like a burger or something like that when it comes on it together.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of those two products mingling. I've thought about buying it, but I had the exact same reservations that it's like I don't know if it the color of it seems, I don't know, not exactly what I'm looking for. And
Yeah.
if I already have those two items in my fridge, like I don't need a separate. If I'm always
Yes.
mixing my mayo and ketchup together for everything, then maybe the convenience of having it all in one makes sense. But for me personally, like I'm using those other things for other things. And so I would, again, like you said, much rather be in control of the mayo to chup ratio.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've heard mixed reviews about it in terms of the Heinz version of it.
Yeah.
So
I feel like I think with all condiments, like I'm not against mixing the condiments up and getting yourself a little bit of a mixture, finding what works for you, adding a couple different ones to see like what combination you can put together and have a good time. But when the company's doing it, they're doing it and how they want it to be, and you're either gonna love it or you're just not gonna stand for it. And I think I would want to put this in Binum or at least condiment because this is a dumb product to exist.
I I'm fine with Binum for now because
Yeah.
I think just the fact that like I um I like these two products mixed together, but I've never considered buying this product.
Mm-hmm.
Says a lot about it. And just the picture is disgusting to me. It's one of those things where it's like, I don't need to see the swirl of it going together. It's just, I don't know. The name sounds ugly. Mayo chup. It just, I don't know.
Um,
It makes the combination less appetizing
yeah,
to
I
me.
think Wedge in the chat suggested ketchup, which I thought would at least make it sound a little classy, even though there's nothing classy about mayonnaise. But I would be okay with that.
You watch yourself. There is definitely something classy about mayonnaise.
Is there? It
No,
literally needed a glow up and a re.
we'll get to it.
Yeah,
But
okay.
you can put lipstick on that pig.
It's been done. Okay, your turn. Your turn. We can move away
Okay.
from the monstrosity that is this mayo chup
Okay.
and get to the next one.
Let's go. Let's God. Let's go with this is one that I question putting on because like people might argue that it's not
There's
condiment.
one for me that I don't know how I'm gonna like. We're gonna talk about it. Maybe it's the one
Yeah.
you're thinking of right now, but let's go.
Maybe not. I don't know.
We'll see.
Let's go to the salsa.
Yep, that's the one. Yep. The one on the list where I'm like, oh, this could so just be a side. Because hummus, there's a reason why
Yeah.
hummus isn't on this list. It's because I
Yeah.
was like, it's a standalone. But like, salsa was like it could be, depending on who's making it, where you're getting it from, it could very much be liquid. And at that point,
Yes.
it becomes a sauce, right? Or a condiment.
And I think that like with salsa over hummus, for example, if we're using hummus as like the gauge, I don't think that you're putting hummus on, I guess, a topping onto a bunch of things. Whereas like I don't know, like you might put some on your eggs. You might put like salsa. Like I've seen people put like salsa on a burger and do
Yeah.
like a fiesta burger type thing. I just don't see you doing that as much with hummus. Hummus is a lot more of a standalone, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
like it literally you can have hummus and pita and that's your meal. Like that is a
Yeah,
thing you can do. Yeah.
exactly.
Which like salsa,
And I mean, I guess you could say that chips and salsa are something, but I think that hummus, because it's made from chickpeas, is a little bit more substantial.
right.
Whereas I see salsa a lot more as a side.
Uh,
It's not its own thing. It's
yeah.
definitely an accompaniment. It's definitely a dip. You definitely dip things into it. So
Yeah.
I think it actually counts in. It's just one of the like weirder ones on the list, I think.
I think so too. And like the thing is with ultimately, obviously you can argue for any of these things. It's like, oh, well, I went through a struggle and like I was broke waiting for the next paycheck in uni, so I had a ketchup sandwich. Like, okay, but that still doesn't make it not a condiment. Like you made it work,
Yeah.
but so I think like that's the thing where hummus is more than that, whereas salsa solo might not work. But I do think that we're on the same page here, because it does come in different varieties. I think a lot of people in the chat are with us, so we should be
Yeah.
in the same page. So, like Papaya says, if salsa is a condiment, shouldn't guacamole be one too? I think then guac kind of goes in the same combo as hummus, maybe less so, but in the middle of the
Mhm.
two, closer to hummus, where like it can arguably stand alone if need be.
I mean, for me, putting salsa on was a lot because I see it as counterpart for sour cream.
Yeah.
It's like if I'm putting sour cream on, like I'm probably gonna put salsa on as well. I mean, I can see the guac argument, but like I just feel like the guac is just such a very specific situation.
Yeah.
Um, and I just feel like I don't know, it's not a fair thing for me to rank because I just feel like it's so specific.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of the other things on this like list are things that you can use in a lot of different situations, and I think salsa falls into that situation
Hmm.
where, um, like you can use it in all sorts of as a topping in all sorts of meals depending on like the genre of meals.
Yeah.
It is a dip. It's a standalone dip. Like I said, you could put it on your eggs. I know like a lot of people are like ketchup on eggs kind of person, or hot sauce on eggs. You could do salsa on your eggs. So I think that I don't think that I don't know. I think that it can be here without guacamole.
Yeah. No, I think so too.
I
And
love guac
of course, who doesn't? I threw the link in the chat for the wiki page that I looked at to make sure that we were at least in line with wiki, and I believe all the ones we have been sanctioned by Wikipedia, so that's all fine.
That's important.
It's just
I'm
so
bringing it
funny
with me.
because once we started thinking about this idea, I was like, I can't tell. Like beyond like the natural ketchup, mustard, mayo, I'm like, do I see these other things as condiments? Have I called them condiments before? Not really, because like if I'm cooking with them, it's different. Some of them can be seen as sides, but it's a fun time. It's a fun time. Dickwan, I know anyone can post anything on Wiki, but like it makes me feel better that there's a Wikipedia page dedicated to it.
List
So
of condiments and salsa is in there. I think that
yeah.
that's fair enough.
So with that all being said, I like salsa. You can you've already made all the points I think that needed to be made. You can put it in stuff, you can dip stuff in it, you can have it on the side over there chilling. Depending on the way it's made, it can either be more liquidy for like a dip situation, or it can be a little bit more thick and can be put into the to a burrito. So and like you can put either type in the burrito. Like it's a very versatile condiment, and depending on how it's made, it can satisfy almost anybody. I like it. I would put it in personally to like shoot it up and talk about it right quick. I would put this above Ehecha sauce. I would put this in dip 'em personally.
I have enjoyed this. Has been pretty harmonious so far. I agree that it deserves to be in dip 'em. Here's the thing with salsa is like because there's so many like varieties and like ways that it can be done. Obviously, there's different heat levels, different thicknesses. You can have like a really thick salsa, or you can have like a thinner salsa.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, so it can really vary, but for me, like a really, really good salsa is amazing. I don't find myself super like I don't clamor for it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get as excited about it as I would for like guacamole, for example. Like
That's
I
fair.
don't know, it's one of those things where like you go to a restaurant and like they give you like the complimentary like chips and salsa. I'm like, oh, this is chill, this is awesome. But I'm not like so excited about it. Whereas like there are just other things that I would get super, super excited about. But I think that there's something for everyone, unless you're like someone that just like hates tomato things. But even I know people who don't like tomato stuff and still like salsa. So I feel like
Right.
it's one of those things where it like if you find the right one and the right level for you, it can definitely be something that everyone can enjoy. So it's definitely a dippable. I think the main way that I enjoy it is just straight up bowl salsa with some tortilla chips. So for me, I think it would be a dip 'em.
Okay. Yeah. I think we're on the same page. And this was very, very hard to pick and choose what the words are going to be for the rankings because dip 'em, it's like, well, once we get to something that is not dippable, it's like, well, why is it in dip 'em? But just think of it as the second tier of the list. I do want to say two things before we get deeper into this stream. So just notes. Tomorrow, the stream will be Which One Wednesday, and it will be from 4 to 6. We're not doing 6 tomorrow. We're finishing at 6 tomorrow. And that's because I have to do something later in the evening, so I will not be around. So we're doing 4 to 6 for tomorrow. I'll put a tweet out so you'll remember this anyway. It's fine. And then next week's tier list, I'm gonna tease it from now. I'm not gonna tell you who's on. I'm gonna tease it from now. We're doing types of sandwiches, so be ready for that one coming soon. With the condiments this week, I feel like it's the perfect preview of then putting them onto those sandwiches and talking about those. That one will be at its That one we'll figure out the time when we get there. But tomorrow, 4 p.m. Okay. Here we go. So we just finished talking about salsa, and we put them in the dip 'em. And look, the picture is being dipped. That's kind of perfect situation there. Okay, so is it my turn next? Right? It's my turn here. Let's see.
It is.
Dun dun dun. There's a couple things in here. No, I've pretty much tried all of these in one way or another, but I might have less to say about some than others. Is what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go with Mr. Fluffy. Welcome to the show here. Welcome to Tier List Tuesday. Okay, let's go with barbecue. Let's go with barbecue sauce. Why not?
Yeah.
Go with the old BBQ.
All right.
So, what are your thoughts on the barbecue?
I I go back and forth on barbecue sauce, to be honest. I didn't like it very much when I was a kid. My brother was always like a big barbecue sauce guy.
Mm-hmm.
I remember like, um, like before nugget sauces became like a wider range. I feel like you can get like the amount of sauces you can
Oh,
get
now
with
there's
your nuggets
everything.
now is insane. When I was a kid and you went to like McDonald's, for example, and say you got like the Happy Meal because you were a child, your choices were basically barbecue or sweet and sour, and then like I don't even think back then you could get honey, or maybe you could. And
I think honey was there, but then the honey mustard wasn't there, and like the
no,
hot honey
that did
wasn't there.
not
There
exist
was
when
like
I was a
maximum
child.
3 that weren't
Yeah.
ketchup. So
I
yeah,
was a kid in the '90s, so
same.
yeah, so your options were limited back then. My brother was a barbecue sauce guy. We had barbecue sauce in our fridge all the time. I was never that into it. I did not like barbecue chips. They were my least favorite um, chip flavor. If they were in the house, once again, left them to my brother. I was not into them. I just found them like, they didn't really do anything for me. As an adult, however, I've come around on barbecue sauce a lot more, and I think that for me, I've realized that there's just so many different varieties of barbecue sauce, and
Hmm.
that for me, I think my memory of barbecue sauce was so sweet, and I don't like a sweet barbecue sauce. I like it tangy, and I like it a
Hmm.
little bit more almost spicy. Um, so but it's hard to find, like, I don't know, I just feel like I haven't found my like perfect barbecue sauce yet, so I find myself not ever feeling super passionate about it. So I don't know, it's just like I think especially now there are just so many other options in place. Like for me, the only place where barbecue sauce is an essential is like on ribs. Like if you go to like a rib fest, obviously it's
Right.
the ribs are usually covered in a barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
And that's where I like realized I was like, oh, like some of these like rib places have like really special barbecue sauces that are a lot more my speed. But that's like one of the only places where I think that I would prefer, like, that I feel like barbecue sauce needs to be there. And almost every other situation, I can think something else I would prefer. So for me, I'm not super high on barbecue sauce, but I know a lot of people are. And maybe I just haven't had enough uh, things with a good barbecue sauce to feel a certain way about it. I mean, I live in Canada. It's not like I've ever had like really good like American barbecue, but so I'm pretty meh on it, to be quite honest.
Yeah. Okay. So for me, growing up in a Persian household, barbecue sauce wasn't there, like because it was never used for cooking really. It wasn't really used for like it's not really like I'm not gonna like have fries and then have a side of barbecue sauce. I know that with nuggets it worked, but that was the only place where I could have had access to it. Would have been like a McDonald's when I was a kid, and because I didn't know it, I didn't approach it. Right, I didn't have it. So then that was a thing that really came to light when we went to Sweden for some summers and had barbecues with the family, and like now it's there, and I was like, oh, this hits nice. I like this. This is pleasant. Ultimately, though, like even now, so now when I cook, if I'm making chicken and I'm choosing to do it in a specific way, I will put barbecue sauce for Liana's mix. I will put pepper, cayenne pepper on mine because I'm trying to get mine spicy. She can't do spicy, so it gets used there. I still use it here and there as well for other things. I still put it a little bit on my sandwich if I want to like add something to it, if I like a chicken sandwich or anything. But ultimately, I don't need it. You know, I don't need it. I know with ribs, you got something there. With ribs, it hits. I like it.
Yeah.
But also, there's so many different like there's so many different brands. I feel like in different varieties, and then you can do your own. So it's like, I feel like that changes it as well. Because I'm sure that, you know, if I got Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, that'll be different than another variety, or if someone's making their own situation, or if someone even does their own marinade for their ribs. I feel like I would be like, yeah, this is better. So for me, it also ends up in it's just sauce, and that's not to take away from the fact that I respect it. I respect what it does. It kind of, I feel like it's one of the stronger of the condiments. Like it can easily be like you can use it for quite a few things. But I just personally, I guess for me, barbecues, because like the chips is the same for me. I don't really barbecue chips aren't in my top tier, right? And I've talked about this with Phil. Like they didn't end up top tier for me. They don't hit that way for me. So I would be. I think you said it's just snacks. I'm willing to put it in there as well.
Yeah, I agree. That was kind of where I was leaning, where
Yeah.
I was almost kind of like, which in my head I'm calling condiment,
that's
which
that's
is also,
better.
yeah.
Wow. Okay.
It's fine.
Condiment.
So I feel like kind of on the fence about it. It's not one of those things where here's the thing. I would rather have so say you get like McDonald's fries,
Mm-hmm.
and you need something to dip them in. I would take barbecue sauce for my fries over not having anything at all, which I think means that I like it enough.
Right, you're not going to be like, well, this is going to ruin everything. Like
Yeah.
if you really if you're big on sauces, which you are, you would take a barbecue, which is good. Like
Mhm.
I that makes sense.
So I think it's baseline for me, which for now I can see again, like let's see where we go with this. I can see myself maybe wanting to vouch for it going lower, and I know that there are probably people in the chat that are like, "You're absolutely insane." But for me right now, it's just sauce.
That's fair. Okay, yeah, I'm willing to keep it there as well. And personally, I would have mustard over it. What would you feel? Would you feel the other way around?
Yeah, no, I'm good with that.
Okay, so we'll leave it there for now.
Okay.
And we move. I think now that means it's your turn. Also, I changed
All right.
it. It is now condiment.
I like
Yeah.
that.
I don't.
It's easier for me to say too.
Yeah. I don't know what. Okay. Whatever. It'll just have the line underneath it, and it'll bother me, but it's fine. Okay. It's your turn. Your turn.
Okay, we've got a couple of variations of this, so let's get it out of the way. No, you know what? I'm gonna do something totally different. I changed my mind. Let's go with tartar sauce.
Tartar sauce. Tartar
That's on
sauce.
there, right? I see it. I'm pretty sure I see it.
Yeah. It's actually the one that's here. I don't have to move anything. That's perfect.
Okay. Um,
Okay.
So, how do you feel with tartar sauce?
I love it. I mean, I love it, but also, am I having it outside of fish and chips? Probably not. So I love it though. It's like at some point, fish and chips almost became a vehicle to have tartar sauce. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and I love it. I love both. I love fish and chips. It became my go-to. Like when I started, and it's not even a healthy substitute. Let's put that out there. But when I started to be like, I don't want to be the I'm just getting a burger at the pub every time. I want to get something different. It became fish and chips because I was like, you know what? We're going to an Irish. Let me get the fish and chips. Like that's what I want. Love tartar sauce. Love tartar sauce. They always give you enough too. Surprisingly, I feel like with other stuff, it's like, oh, can I get a little bit more? I feel like I've never been wronged in the tartar sauce department. Um,
That's important.
yeah, and like I appreciate that. So
Yeah.
like I love tartar sauce, but I also don't have much else to speak on it for because I
Yes.
don't really use it anywhere else, right? So I don't use it anywhere else. I don't really have experience with it anywhere else. I don't think I've ever had a um I was about to say container of it, but what's the bottle? I've never had a bottle of it in
Jar or
my
something.
fridge. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
so it's not in my fridge, right? It's never been in my fridge. But when I can get fish and chips, I do because man wants his fish, man wants the omega 3, and man wants tartar sauce. What are your thoughts?
I'm not, I agree. I think it's a delicious sauce. It goes perfect with fish. Um, and I'm not a big fish and even when I could have like a proper battered fish, I wasn't huge on it, but it was a necessity for me. Like there was absolutely no way that you would catch me eating fish and chips without tartar sauce.
Yeah.
Um, I've had it more recently. Phil made like a homemade tartar sauce, and let me tell you, off the chain was so good. And I don't know, it's just like it's just such a delicious flavor. It goes so well with fish, whether it's battered or not. But again, I agree with you. What else am I using it for? It's just got like such a specific use, and anywhere else where I think, well, it's close enough to this, I could use it for this. It's like there's something else I could use instead that makes more sense.
Yeah.
So I really feel like its utility is so limited and that really hurts it. But when I'm eating sauce, I'm like, this is the shit. I love this. So it's very like I don't know, I feel like it gets thrown into the middle because of like the two extremes of like I really, really enjoy it, but its utility is so limited.
If this was, yeah, like because that's the thing for me, this is it does its own job so well that I want to put it higher, but because we're literally not going to use it outside of fried fish, it's like then it just cannot be higher up. It can't, I don't know if I should at some point buy one and just try it with other stuff and see if it works and if I find something that I like it with. But I do think that Detective Papaya says that its uniqueness handcuffs it. And I think with that being said, I just cannot see us putting it beyond it's just sauce. Even though I think it hits better. I would even want to like give it an honor and put it ahead of mustard even. Like that's how much I kind of feel like I want to push it up, but I know I shouldn't and I can't. And it just doesn't make sense to just real quick while I'm rambling here. Marcus said I use it for non-fish reasons. Please, Marcus, enlighten us. What other
Yeah.
what did you use it with? Because I'm curious. With chicken
Or
and
chicken.
on sandwiches. What sandwiches? Chicken
Like a
sandwiches?
fish sandwich?
Yeah, because if it's a fish sandwich, like a filet o fish is a fish sandwich, and they have it. So,
Can
um,
I talk about the filet of fish for a second?
sure.
I feel like it gets so much hate.
Yes.
It's such a weird McDonald's item, but it fucking slaps. Like it sounds so gross, but that fish patty, it's always hot and cooked fresh because I don't think that it gets ordered very often. So they always make it fresh. It's not sitting in the like little trays very often. Um, the thought of putting cheese on it is kind of weird, and then the tartar sauce, the steamed bun, the whole thing is I am a filet fish apologist, but the tartar sauce definitely makes it. Like I can't imagine eating that without tartar sauce. And I think for me in the conversation of tartar sauce is just the fact that like the meal that it goes with for me is not one of my favorite meals. So that brings it low for me.
Okay.
But it is such an integral part of the meal that I enjoy it with. So I'm fine. I honestly could see myself putting it into condiment, but I'm if you feel stronger about putting it in and it's just sauce, I'm also okay with
I'll
that.
put it in the bottom list of it's just sauce for the
Okay.
moment. So while we're paused here talking about fish and the filet o fish and cheese with fish. So a couple weeks ago, I put out a poll of what is your opinion on tuna melts, and it was a very close middle, but ultimately yuck won. No, thank you won. And it's because I was talking to Liana, and Liana's big on tuna melts, and I was like, that's disgusting. It's a hot fish sandwich, and a can of tuna, like that just seems insane. And then 2 weeks later, yesterday, we had two meals, and both those meals were tuna melt sandwiches, and it was
Wow.
delicious. And
Okay,
cheese goes on it, which is insane to me. Like having cheese with
that's a
seafood
melt.
is insane, and and it works, and I liked it. So, um,
It
I
sounds
yeah,
gross. Okay, I've never actually had a tuna melt, but because I think the part that I've had trouble getting past is like it's still like tuna salad, right? Like it's still mixed with mayo
right,
and then it's hot. Like that part, I don't like hot mayo.
right. Well,
Is that is the part where I have an issue. But the cheese and tuna, like the cheese and fish melding, totally fine with.
yeah.
Love the
So
flavor.
my sister is a big advocate for the filet o fish as well, and I think I need to try that out as well. Daquan does point out the mayo isn't hot; it's just not cold. So what happens is you've made your cold tuna salad mixture thing with your celery and your. So for me, it's like celery. There's a little bit of pickle, a little bit of tomato, mayo, lemon juice, tuna. Mix it all up, and then you're kind of going the grilled cheese route of you're buttering the toast, you're putting it on there. Then you put the tuna on there. You put the cheese on top. You put the other bread on with the butter on, and then you're kind of treating it like a grilled cheese. Yeah,
Okay.
so it's enough for the cheese to melt, so like it warms it out. Also, like because the ratio is not a lot of mayo, because then that'll make it liquidy and it's harder to maintain it in the sandwich. So, um,
In my head, it was like going in the oven
yeah,
with like the cheese melting
yeah,
it on top.
uh,
And then I'm like, there's no way you're not getting hot mayo at
yeah.
that point. And that was like deeply uncomfortable for me.
So Daquan's like, wait, you put tomato in your? I put it yesterday because I had the baby tomatoes, and there's no way I was gonna slice like 18 baby tomatoes to like put them on top of my sandwich tediously. So I kind of just tossed them in there at the end. Yes. It was like 5 of them, and I just kind of cut them up in little pieces. I'm a tomato
I'm
guy,
all
so I don't mind.
I I'm also tomato
Yeah.
guy. I don't know if I've ever done it in my tuna salad, but I am big on the pickle, the chopped up pickle in it.
Mm,
Again, which explains why I like tartar sauce. It's got
yeah.
that pickly.
Phil's out here broiling his tuna melt. So Phil, when you put
We don't
together,
have
can you please do a TikTok food video of you doing a tuna melt? Because I would watch the fuck out of that thing. And Beacon says post that recipe in the Discord. I got you. I will put that in the Discord after this. That works out well. Um,
Shan Franz in the chat makes a good point about my fear of hot mayo. It's that it's in spinach artichoke dip, but I feel like it's mixed in with enough stuff that it's like I'm not like I taste mayo. Where like you know what I mean? Like it's like there's so much
yeah.
going on. There's the cheese, sometimes a cream cheese.
No, I
Sometimes I
get
think the
you.
spinach dip is made without
Yeah.
mayo. So I don't know. I just like I'm not eating that and thinking, oh, hot mayo. But if I were to eat like a hot tuna salad, I feel like I would be thinking like tomato is hot, and I'm upset. But
Yeah.
I'm willing to try it. Apparently, Phil says I'm having a tuna melt for dinner, but I don't think we do. We even have the ability to make that right
You're
now.
gonna have a tuna meltdown when you
No.
realize how good it is. Like I feel like I've
I
been sleeping on something for ages just because I was like, oh, it's hot fish like that, like hot tuna fish. Like I don't like that, but it worked. It worked, and like we had it
okay.
yesterday, and I'm sad that we're out of tuna now, so I have to go buy more. Um, I will say though, the minute you open that can, I'm sure you've had tuna fish at your house. The
Oh yeah,
cats
we got
were
it in the
not shutting
cupboard.
up yesterday. It was so annoying.
Yeah,
So annoying.
Scarlett thinks most things that come out of a can are for her. She also freaks out over chickpeas, which,
Interesting.
yeah, if you open a can of chickpeas, she's like,
Yeah.
ah.
Yeah. No, it
Yeah.
helps that Liana's cats, Clam and Pearl, are very nice, understanding, like somewhat disciplined cats. Whereas Winston didn't give a damn. Winston would eat mayo and rip open a bag of chips and eat the chips, and if anything, popcorn. Like Winston eats anything. So
Yeah.
Winston made it so that I couldn't leave any food out. Like if I finished eating, that plate's getting rinsed out now because Winston will eat whatever was in that plate. So it's a lot. And with tunas and a whole other story. Like I pulled the cans out of the shell, out of the cupboard, and set them on the table, and Clam came out and knew it was like tuna fish without me opening the
Without
can.
even opening it.
Just the
That's
sound
wild.
of the can. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
you know what's going on here. Yeah.
My cat loves salt and vinegar chips especially, which is also my favorite chip. But she like goes crazy for like if you open a bag of salt and vinegar chips, she just knows.
Yeah. No, and
Don't
like
you, Scar?
I
Say hi.
so I opened the two. Aww.
Hey, Scar baby. She's a demon.
Pearl, are you camera ready? Oh, Pearl's asleep. It's fine. Pearl's fine.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm sorry to the non-cat fans. We did talk a little bit about cats here. We're both
We also
cat
talked about
advocates.
tuna.
Yeah, cat advocates, and yeah, tuna's a good time. Okay, now that tartar sauce somehow got a lot of conversation, even though it's used for one thing.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go next? Or did you?
I took tartar sauce.
You
It's
brought
down to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. You know what? I'm gonna give it to the chat. Chat, what would you like next from the
What
stuff
do you
you
want us
see
to
here?
do next?
If you need me to list stuff off, I can start doing
Or
that.
if you
as
just
well.
recognize something.
Yeah. The first thing to get three things in the chat, I'm gonna put that in. We
We
got
got hot sauce. We got relish, ranch, sriracha. Oh God, you guys are.
just one vote for each. This is like the worst tribal council ever. Another
We got
ranch.
2 for ranch.
All right. If we don't get another
Honey, relish. We got 2 for relish, 2 for ranch. Somebody break the tie. I want to be upset.
honey mustard. Okay, that's a new one. All right. Chat says
Okay,
ranch.
we
Ranch
got
with a
3 for
W.
ranch.
Okay, it's done.
Ranch.
Voting is closed.
Voting is closed.
Yeah, Daddy Taryn talking to madness in the chat, but we're gonna ignore Daddy Taryn for now. Calm down, Daddy Taryn. Get yourself some water. Okay, so we're gonna go with ranch. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't have much of a history with ranch. I don't have much of a. It's a very limited thing that has been used for me. And I am not going to give this what people want. So I think it's only fair if I pass this on to you to give the explanations of it all, and then we'll see where we go from there.
So here's the thing with ranch. I feel like people obviously feel very passionate about ranch. I know that like in the Midwest of the United States, like ranch is like a way of life. Like you put ranch on everything. You get ranch on the side of everything.
Mm-hmm.
This is something I've learned. For me, it's like as a salad dressing, not interested. I almost would never make a salad and be like, you know what, this needs ranch. However, as a dip, delicious. It's a great veggie dip. It's great with like, like celery and carrots and like, like some bell peppers, cucumbers. Like I would be very, very happy to dip vegetables into ranch. The other place I like it, and this is going to give a bit of a spoiler to how I feel about something else, is give me ranch on the side of my wings every single time.
Every single time.
Every single time.
Every time.
I love the flavor. I love the cool creaminess of the ranch with a spicy hot sauce. So I feel like I can handle spice and I love spice, but I just want the option of giving myself a little bit of that creamy ranch with it. So even if you're at like a restaurant and you're getting wings and like it's not like, oh, your choice of like ranch or blue cheese or whatever, I order ranch on the side every single time. I want my hot wings with ranch and I dip the chicken into the ranch. Maybe I'm disgusting, but it's so fucking good, and that is like a non-negotiable for me. Like, and blue cheese sucks.
Wow.
Right.
Okay. Well, it's okay to have the incorrect opinion on this on this stream. It's fine. It's completely fine.
No, here we go.
I mean, so I've had ranch with my wings before, and it is simply. If it's there to like cut the hotness, which is what Phil said, have a chug of your beer, my man. Like that's what that's there for, you know? Like
No, the creaminess is
but then
creamy.
get you like so the way I operate with wings, you know, I go with like first of all, I always get a hot wing, right? So it's like I'll always order 2 pounds because that's how I do. You know, your boy likes to eat, so I'm gonna get a hot set, either a buffalo or a very hot or you know like a higher level of hotness. And then the second one is kind of like my I Actually, I usually go three. You know what? Because then the other one is lemon pepper. I always get me a lemon pepper as well. But then I always want the third to be what you're describing, the creamy, like the. And I went with a buffalo blue cheese, and that shit slapped. So that is better.
We should
Ranch,
maybe should we discuss blue cheese in coordination
I'm
with
down to
ranch?
do that. That
Okay,
actually
because
makes
I
us
think
kill
we
two
should
birds
do
with
them
one
at the
stone.
same time because I feel like they're very I mean, I feel like the conversation is definitely ranch versus blue cheese, and we should probably just discuss them in coordination. You're clearly a blue cheese over ranch. I have had, okay, so I will never just eat blue cheese itself, like the cheese.
That's fair.
That is, no. And I don't mind the taste of blue cheese dressing until I get a chunk of the blue cheese. Like the vague, sort of cheesy, like feeling taste in the creaminess, I'm okay with. But until once I get a chunk of blue cheese, it's ruined for me. Um, there is a thing where I'm pretty sure it's like scientific where if you're allergic to penicillin, you don't like blue cheese. And I'm allergic to penicillin. I
That's
hate blue cheese.
what?
It's
That's
there's
crazy.
like there's something about I'm not educated enough to talk on it right now, but I'm pretty sure it's like a thing where there's some sort of commonality between people who are allergic to penicillin. Yeah, it's a mold, right? Okay, thank you. And I can't with the blue cheese, and I'm also allergic to penicillin. And I know a lot of other people in the same scenario. So for me, if there's a choice between blue cheese and ranch, ranch every time. If there's no choice and they don't come with it, I'm ordering the ranch. Um, I would dip into the blue cheese dressing and avoid the cheese at all costs. So uh, I don't know. I feel very strongly about one of these, and like it's not a hill for me to die on for the other.
I feel like ranch is at this point in time in the world we live in today. Ranch is identified itself as a versatile condiment. And it goes with wings, and you can have it on your salad, and you can have it. There's Cool Ranch chips. There's a lot of different ways ranch goes. I think it's bullshit that ranch gets to do all those things. I feel like who allowed ranch to really kick past its weight and like really try and go for the heavyweight champion of the world status? Ranch should be in a playpen with the children and then die in the Happy Meal and we move on. Because Daquan, Cool Ranch Doritos are not ranch. I will retract that, but I'm staying true with everything else. I feel like ranch is I at best. It should not be like it shouldn't go with everything. If it goes with everything, it's a little suspect. I don't.
I don't think it goes with everything.
I feel like I
For
see it
record.
available with a lot of different things more so than the other things. So
But I also well, here's the thing, and I mean, I think it's definitely um, less controversial than blue cheese because there are like you can literally get a buffalo ranch sauce at like some places. Like I'm pretty sure there's some place. Well, I think we were
now
talking
you're
about
talking.
on which one Wednesday um, at Popeyes. I'm pretty sure they have a buffalo ranch dipping sauce. And so it's like it's clearly acknowledged that those two flavors go together. So it's like why not mix them? And you can definitely order wings that are like buffalo ranch
Hmm.
flavored. I think that blue cheese is just so controversial, possibly because of the penicillin allergy. I'm just saying. So I just think that it's blue cheese is one of those things where like the people that love it like really really love it, but if you don't love it, it's like cilantro. Like you know what I mean? Like you're either like conditioned to be able to handle the taste of it or not. And I don't know. I think that that's probably why ranch is given the opportunities that blue cheese is not.
Like I don't know. Like to me, Ranch is Joey Fatone. Like ranch isn't Justin Timberlake, and it acts like it is, like it can go solo. It doesn't. It belongs with a combination of folks, and that's where it should be. Personally,
Wow.
it can be on the side with the celery, sure, but it should never be the main. But that's just me. I haven't really ranched all that much. Also, ranch is just so raunchy to say. Like it's up there with wet and moist. Like ranch. Like I don't
Wow.
need that. I feel like blue cheese can be too much. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's not like I love blue cheese and I hate ranch. I don't even think blue cheese is all that. But if I'm going head to head with these two, that's where I would be with it. So with all the stuff being said, we need to talk about ranch and rate it. So I think you go first, and then I'll come in and we'll balance it out because I think it's fair if you go first because I also don't. I don't look at value ranch the same way, so I also do not have not used it that many times in my life enough, if that makes sense, to feel like I should
Okay.
get the first say here.
So you wait. So you want to say first?
No, you go first.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So for me, it's like it's not like I said, it's not a hill for me to die on. Like I don't feel passionate. I feel very much in the conversation of this or that, I feel passionate about it, but in terms of it in general as a condiment, it's not like one of the first things I think about when I think about how much I love condiments. So I can I don't know if he's laughing or not. I for me, I can handle putting it in the it's just sauce territory, um, because the again, it's one of those things where it's like the only thing that I'm really thinking about that I really need to have it with is like hot wings, and that might also just be because I can't do the blue cheese.
Mm.
So there's so many other things that I could do something else. So that's why I don't feel like I need to really rally behind the ranch. But I think it deserves better than condiment.
Okay.
So that's where I'm leaning.
Okay. So I'm willing to just give that because I thought you were about to come in and call it awesome sauce, and then I would have been
No.
like, okay, let's. Okay. So yeah, we're fine. We're good here.
There
Um,
are people that are way more passionate about ranch than I am, and that will have it with everything. Like I know people will do it for like their pizza crust. I would do that if I had no other option, but it's
yeah.
not my first choice.
Yeah.
So
Actually, yeah. So I feel like with my pizza crust, I like the I feel like a lot of people like the garlic one too, which I have a garlic one on this list that we can talk about. But pizza, that's an interesting one. We got to think about that. Like,
pizza dipping sauces are kind of different because like it also can sometimes depend on like what's on the pizza,
what's on
like
the
what kind
pizza?
of pizza.
What establishment you're getting it from? Because not all of them
Yes,
have the same one, and not all of them
it's
hit the same. So,
it's very true.
yeah. Okay.
Now with blue cheese, since we're keeping it in the same conversation, what are we doing with that? Because like I am a very strong binum on the blue
Yeah,
cheese,
and
but
I'm not dying on blue cheese hill. That's not happening. So
okay.
I'm willing to put it in the meh category because I also don't really have like for me it's a oh I'm at a wing joint and they're like would you like some ranch or blue cheese? I'd be like yeah give me that blue cheese. I'll dip my celery in that. That's fine. But I wouldn't outside of that I'm not using blue cheese anywhere else. Whereas if ranch is on like if there's like a ranch dressing that's fine. I'll have it on my salad. Like the world isn't gonna like go over, but I'm not gonna put blue cheese on it. So personally, could be a
Yeah,
lot. So I'm fine with putting it in condiment just to also have something in the condiment at the
something
moment.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. And like I said, I have eaten it. Like I have chosen to consume it selectively, where I avoid the chunks of blue cheese because it's disgusting.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with it being above Venom, even though I live in it. Now,
Okay.
to what Daquan's saying in the chat, if you need a dipping sauce for pizza, you are eating bad pizza.
Oh yeah.
I'm always eating bad pizza at this point in my life because I have to eat gluten-free pizza. Cauliflower crust is definitely better than regular gluten-free pizza, but the other thing is that like I just love dips and sauces so much that like even if the pizza's really good, it's like I just need that sauce. And like the crust itself, like just plain crust is boring. So even if you're not dipping the actual pizza in, like you're enjoying the toppings of the pizza, once you get to the crust, I need something a little bit more, no matter what.
Well, just real quick before we move forward, thank you to Mohammed, Hale, and Harvey for giving me the old follow. I appreciate that. Oh, looks like someone
Except
got
for
banned.
him saying that I
Bye.
was
It was a fun
ugly.
turnaround. I don't know what you said in the chat. I missed it. I wish I could see it, but I guess it's
Called
good
me
that I don't.
ugly.
Get the fuck out. You know what? Ban twice. No, ban him again. Ban again. Daquan, do it twice. You unban, do it again. Okay. The other two, thank you for joining us. This is a fun time. I appreciate your follow. Dickhead, man. Okay. Anyways, I'm getting riled up. Okay, don't come. Yeah. Okay. Okay. You know what? Okay, we're fine. Everything's good.
Ban him.
So ban him. Exactly. Thank you. Yeah, the ban him merch that'll fly off the shelves when we get there.
Yeah.
I will say, so as far as pizza goes, just real quick, I never had dipping sauce for pizza until I moved to Canada, and I was like, oh, they sell dipping sauces here. Oh, what's it for? Oh, the crust. I get it. Some pizzas do need it on slathered on top a little bit if you have to. Sometimes, you know. But with that being said, okay, can you get rid of Hale as well, please? Thank you. And get rid of Harvey. Get rid of all. Bin them, ban them both, please. Do your thing. Do your thing, Daquan. Ban them both. Ban them both. I don't know. Okay. Anyways, we move. What are we doing here? Let's just we're getting stuck on the pizza. Ban them, please. Ban them both. Okay. Jenny, it's your turn, I think.
Okay. I was alluding to going here before. We've got two different variations on the list here. Let's go with the relish that most people are familiar with, which is the sweet pickle relish.
Sweet. Oh God, these pictures.
And that was one of the other top options when we took it to the chat.
Yeah, it was. It was behind ranch. It was the relish. Yeah.
So we'll do the sweet pickle relish here.
Yeah. Like the ones, all the trolls coming out for the pizza dippings. Yeah, maybe we don't talk about pizza dipping ever again.
Yeah, I didn't realize it's so contentious. So.
Yeah. Get your less than twos in the chat, gang. Get your less than twos in the chat. Okay. Relish. Okay, so for me, this is kind of in the ranch territory where I would like you to take over, and then I will come in with my opinions.
Here's the thing. I love pickles.
Same.
I like sweet pickles.
Same.
You put a sliced sweet pickle on a burger, I'm okay with that. Mm-hmm. I'm good with that. However, relish is just kind of gross. The gelatin goo in that is the main component of the like chopped up pickles. Like the melding material of the chopped up pickles is just kind of gross. Like, have you ever just gotten like the relish goo and then it like dyes your bun like fluorescent green and you're just like, this is not something I want to eat. It's just gross. And it's just not a proper replacement for a pickle. And so for me, I have put it on. I've made the mistake when it's like a serve yourself situation, all the condiments are there, and you see the relish and you're like, oh yeah, I should probably put some relish on. I've never put relish on something and been like, that's what this needed, this weird sweet pickle goo. Like, no. So it needs to go, especially the sweet variety. It's bad.
I agree with you. I agree with everything you're saying. I literally passed it to you because I didn't want to trash it right off the bat, but I don't need it. I don't need it. If I want pickles, I will have a pickle. That's why I don't like pickled chips. If I want that flavor, I will just have the pickle. I'll go straight to the source. It doesn't hit for me. I don't like it. It doesn't look appetizing to me. You know, if I see it dripping off the side of a sandwich, I'm not gonna be like, give me it. Also, I don't know who mentioned it in the chat of like, it kind of goes on one thing similar to tartar, but it doesn't need it. And I think it's hot dogs, right? It's hot dogs, isn't it? What else are you putting relish on?
I've seen people put it on their burger as well, and I think I've put it on my burger before, just in a situation where there's like ketchup, because you can buy those like picnic packs where it's like the ketchup, mustard, relish all together, and I've done that. I've made that. I've fallen into that fucking trap before, where all three of them come together, and you're like, I don't have ketchup or mustard right now, so I guess I'm just gonna get all three. And then I'm like, well, I have this relish, so I should probably eat it. And then I'm never like, this was a good life choice for me. It's just not necessary, and it's just kind of gross.
Yeah, like for me, so it seems like the alarm was heard in the background. That was a car alarm from the window that's right next to me. Everything's good. I don't have a car, but it was a car alarm, and you heard it, so everything's good. Yeah. So someone else is saying. So Shan is saying relish goes in deviled eggs. I've never really experienced deviled eggs until Liana talked about deviled eggs, and I've seen her make it, and not for me, but it's fine.
I don't like hard boiled eggs.
Yeah, I mean, I can. Okay, so if while they're still hot, I fucks with it. Once they've cooled
Oh,
off,
that
I
sounds
can't.
even worse.
Why is that
That sounds
worse?
worse to me. I don't know. I don't like it.
I mean, is the yolk like completely solid or
I like even when like I have an egg where like it's like I don't know. Okay, so say you make like you're trying to make an over egg and you fuck up and the yolk is not easy. It's hard.
yeah?
Even then I'm like, oh, this is kind of weird to me. Not my favorite texture for yolk. But
Mm,
I'll get through it. But the thought of purposely making a heart and the boiled part is just disgusting to me as well. Like just the whole boiled eggs is something I'm very like if we were talking straight up boiled eggs here, I'd be like that is the hill I would die on for Venom.
really
But
interesting.
yeah, so the idea of using relish for deviled eggs, that's not a selling point for me.
Yeah, I
Sorry,
so
I feel very, very strongly about it. My mom loves making deviled eggs. I always steer completely clear of it.
yeah.
The
So
only thing that is appealing to me about it is like the like paprika or whatever that goes on top of it.
yeah,
That's it.
I
The rest
think
of it.
yeah, I think ultimately for me, I would like to bin 'em the relish.
Yes, let's spin it.
I mean, and the thing is, okay. The other thing is, I know pickles are already a divisive thing. I don't like you like or you hate pickles. I know a lot of people hate pickles. Don't go for pickles. So the fact that there's a condiment like that, there's no way this condiment's gonna go that far for me, anyways.
Right.
So yeah, we're gonna.
I feel very good about that. I
Yeah.
love pickles, and I disagree. Like I like dill pickle chips. I think that they're good. They're not my favorite, but relish is definitely the sort of thing where it's like it's so close to an actual pickle and not good that it's like it's just not worth it. I would rather take the time to take a pickle out of a jar and slice it up myself to put it on whatever I want to have it on.
Yeah.
There's
So
no situation where I want relish.
you're the one who put both relishes on this list. Did you have a different opinion about the other relish, or are you the same stance on both relishes?
I am low on both of them, and I thought that I put them both on the list just to see in case there was different feelings on it. For me, I am way more likely to do the dill pickle relish just because I don't know. I don't like the sweetness. Again, I'm almost always like dill over like a sweet pickle in the first place. So I used to think relish was super gross, and then I saw that there was like dill pickle relish, and I was like, okay, that's like a little bit more like my speed. It's still not great. It still is like not as good as actually having pickles on whatever you're having. So I honestly put them on just in case you were a relish sympathizer, and for me, I would put dill pickle relish over sweet.
Okay.
But if we feel the same about both relishes being trash, let's put them both in the bin. But I do feel strongly that dill over sweet.
Okay.
That matter.
Yeah. No, the only thing that gives me enjoyment in all this is that I relish the opportunity to bin both the relish, fuck them both. We can put dill above sweet as requested, and we can move on because
That's the only decision I need
only
to
good
make.
thing about
Like,
it. Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
we
Okay.
got that out of the way.
We got that out of the way. Everything is all good here, and now we can move on to the next. Let's see. Am I next actually, or are you next?
Yeah, no, you're next. You're
I
next.
have a horrible time keeping track with this. I will
fine.
say, Jenny, for the most part, I feel like you have been the most agreed with guest on Tier List Tuesday with the chat. Right
Wow.
now. That's what the
Well,
vibe I've
I
been
love-
getting reading all this. So far,
I
so
love them.
Yeah.
I love you for agreeing with me, and I love you even if you don't agree with me. The support is just appreciated.
Yeah.
As long as you're nice, even if you don't agree with me, as long as you're nice about it,
Yeah.
I'm all good.
To actually, you know what? I'm gonna in honor. It's Canada Day tomorrow, and
Mhm.
it to kind of like let the Canadian audience know. Jenny left this off her list, but I put it in there. Maple syrup. Let's go. Let's go, Jenny. Why'd you leave that off your list? What's up with that?
Okay,
What's up?
because I was, okay, here's my problem. When I'm thinking about condiments, I'm thinking salty, savory, like I'm not thinking of sweet. And that's a blind spot for me, I guess. I'm definitely a savory over sweet person in general.
Okay.
That said, I love maple syrup. Um, Phil and I had our anniversary brunch on the weekend, and he made gluten-free pancakes and
Oh.
sausage. And I love having breakfast sausages with real maple syrup, not the fake table syrup. I'm talking real maple syrup. Um, so it's good for me. That's one of the few sweet things that I really enjoy. Maple flavored things, I am always a fan of.
Maple
I don't know.
bacon is incredible.
Oh, so
Oof.
good.
So good. Yeah.
Um, Now we discussed this on the weekend. We get the regular, so you can get like the maple breakfast sausages.
Hmm.
Not necessary. Just get the regular ones and
Yeah.
don't put maple syrup on them. You control the
Again,
syrup.
being in control of the ratios goes a long way with this
Yes.
stream right now. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Exactly. So like there's just few situations that I use maple syrup, but I really really enjoy it. I'm a big obviously since not being able to eat wheat, I eat these things less than I used to, but um if anyone's interested, my rankings of the things that you might put syrup on, I go pancakes, then French toast, then waffles. I'm not a big waffle guy, and I know that that's probably blasphemy for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's not for me. Pancakes are number one. Liana disagrees.
Pancakes are
Waffles number one.
number one.
Pancakes number one for me. I don't understand why. And maybe it's because I grew up with it, but like I like that there's no like crunch. I
Yes,
appreciate
it's
that.
soft. Even if there's like a little bit of like a crisp on the outside, it's just like I feel like so often a waffle is just like too much hard on the outside and you're not getting enough of like the fluffiness. Like especially if you're someone that is eating this two in one syrup as a vehicle for like butter and syrup. The pancake is perfect because it literally just ends up being a sponge for flavor. Like, how can you go wrong? It's
Yeah.
so
Also,
delicious.
fried chicken and syrup slaps too. I know it's a
I've
chicken
never
and
done that, but
waffles,
that sounds
but it's
good.
so good. It's unbelievably good. So, and it's the perfect brunch vehicle too, because like it's got you a little bit of that lunch setup, a little bit of the breakfast setup. It's incredible. And see the thing is, we're not saying we hate waffles, right? But what we're saying
No,
is, I know that not a lot of you will agree, but I fucks
I
with the
just feel like
pancakes. I fucks with
I'm
the
just like
pancakes.
I don't know. I think that so often people are just like, oh, waffles are the best. And I just feel like I, because I rank them third on that list, that I need to be out here, you know, shouting out the pancakes because I feel like they really get a bad rap
I
when it
would put
comes
French
to.
toast third, personally, and I'd put waffle second in that three. So,
I think I still do. I don't know. I make pretty good French toast. I haven't made it in a long ass time because I don't eat the bread normally anymore, but it
yeah.
can be really good. And I'm also very much against the people that make French toast and put ketchup on it. We need to talk. It's not okay.
Yeah, let's. This might be how we bring the chat back to our side because this is where the chat was like, "Hey, you guys are ridiculous. Waffles all the way." We finally found the divisiveness there. That
It's
being
French
said,
toast.
yeah. That being said, I feel like most condiments on this list generally are savory, right? There's a couple sweet. There's two of them on this list here, and syrup goes with a subsection, I think, but I think predominantly syrup is a breakfast condiment, right? Like,
Yes.
you're not going to
I
have
don't
a lot of these things at the breakfast table. Syrup can be at the breakfast table. So for me, I would put this in the dip 'em or the it's just sauce category personally.
um yeah, I think for me it's just sauce more than condiment because the things that I enjoy it with are like it's so good. And I also like I do enjoy maple flavored treats. Like if you
Mm-hmm.
ever had like a maple fudge, it's like really good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like you said, it's very very limited in the use of it. But I just like can't see myself putting it in the same tier is blue cheese. Like for me, that just feels like very wrong. So for me, I am having a hard time putting it below, and it's just sauce.
Yeah. I think here's the thing. I think also in honor of Canada Day, I want to put it. If we're putting it in Angel's sauce, we're gonna put it up here. We'll put it ahead of mustard, even though I don't think that's what I would usually
Wow.
do. But it's Canada Day tomorrow, and I'm not there, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna put it this way. Yeah, and a special shout out to again Daquan, fried chicken and maple syrup slaps. I think I'm
That
just
sounds
really,
so good, actually.
I just want fried chicken right now. Is what I've realized. It's like now I'm like,
We know how you feel about
yeah,
fried chicken.
that's all I'm thinking about now. It's like just give me that chicken, please. I made a fish for dinner, fish in foil, and then I put a side of asparagus on that. So that'll be a good meal
So
after this.
good.
I believe now that's your turn. So let's go.
Okay. We got to get into the hot sauces here. We've got a
Let's
couple
go.
on, and it's its own contentious issue. You could probably do a tier list of all the hot sauces. I've seen the memes on Twitter, like
Mm,
which hot sauces you're gonna keep. Um, Not long ago, Phil did his own like poll on Twitter about which was the more versatile sauce, and
yeah.
the poll was between Sriracha and Frank's Red Hot.
Hmm.
I let's do the Frank's Red Hot
Okay.
first.
So yeah, so I wanna, because I know there's gonna be people who be like, well, that's not even the best hot sauce or whatever. I think
Mm-hmm.
ultimately we went with the three that
Or
a
use the
are
most.
used the most. B, if you walk into a diner, they're sitting there, or if you walk into a
Yes.
restaurant, that's what they have on deck, kind of
They're
thing.
most mainstream.
Yeah, yeah. So I think
Because
that's
I've seen like there's so many different kinds, and yeah, like I don't even necessarily, and I think it just really depends on what you're doing. But I think that for me, I really love Frank's. Um, when I've made my own chicken wings, I've done like a Frank's sauce with butter and lemon.
hmm.
Like I love that buttery buffalo taste for a wing. Um, and uh, Also, in honor of Canada Day, if you don't know, my favorite drink in the entire world is the Caesar. No, not Caesar salad for the uninitiated. The drink is literally called the Caesar. It's like Bloody Mary, but it's with clamato instead of tomato juice.
Oh yeah.
And it sounds so gross, but it's amazing. It's the best hangover drink. You can put Frank's in it to sauce it up a little bit. So good. I am a Frank's on eggs person over ketchup. Um, I don't know. I just feel like for me, it's like it is my go-to hot sauce because it's so accessible. It's everywhere. The cayenne pepper, good. Um, so I feel very strongly about Frank's Red Hot. I know it's so basic, but it's so good. It's so good. That vinegar, I love that vinegary taste. Like, oh, so good.
Frank's is pretty much if I'm making, yeah, if I'm making wings at home and I open the fridge and I have these three hot sauces, I'm grabbing the Frank's for the hot, because like it does it to me, it comes off as the thicker of the three, right? It has a little
Yes.
bit more of a substance to it. So I would use it for that. I could throw this on. The thing with me and hot sauce is that if I have it, more often than not, I'll just use it. I don't mind. It's not like, because I know with I've learned since I've moved, because I bought like a variety of them now. Some hot sauces don't go with everything. They just don't.
No.
That's the fact of the matter. Frank's does not go with everything. It can't. I like it with wings.
Contrary to the commercial where it
Yeah.
says, I put that shit on
Yeah.
everything.
I enjoy it. I enjoy all the hot sauces. Like, I'm good with all of them. Shout out Lagoon, who just joined us. I just wanted to say that. But I don't mind Frank's Red Hot. I don't. And I think, it's a staple at diners and stuff. I enjoy it. We used to go to this diner and I would get the blue plate breakfast, which had like eggs, bacon, sausage, ham, baked beans, and something else that I cannot remember because it doesn't matter, I guess. But I would put some Frank's Red into the beans and mix it in, and it was a delish.
Mm.
I think ultimately it ends up in the it's just sauce for me, because it doesn't do enough to kick it into the upper echelon of the hot sauces. Where I feel like I'm more likely to put the thinner hot sauces onto my eggs, for example, than I would the Frank's Red. But I would also only really, out of these three, toss my wings in the Frank's Red than Tabasco or Sriracha. Spoiler alert: the two other hot sauces that are on our list for today.
So like I know I mentioned using it in a Caesar. I'm way more likely to use Tabasco in a Caesar. I
Mm.
get the big Costco size Tabasco because I drink
Yeah.
so many Caesars around here. Um, but I just feel like you were saying, what I use Frank's for instead of Tabasco, like it's not as spicy as Tabasco. So, but that's what makes me feel like it's more versatile. I can take the point that maybe it's not as versatile as sriracha, which is Phil's take on the
Mm.
whole hot sauce situation. But oh my god, I just like feel like there's just so many things that I use it on, and then the taste of it just is like it just amplifies it for me. Like, have you ever put Frank's on pizza? Pretty good.
I can't say that I have.
It's pretty good.
I would. I could see it working, and that's the thing. If I want to spice up my pizza, I'll use any of them, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Then ultimately it just comes down to which one would I go with, because I have opinions on sriracha, and you know what? Why don't we've done this all night.
Do you want to do it all
I'm gonna put all
together?
the hot sauces, line them up next to each
Yeah.
other.
Because it's one of those things where it's like you might as well just talk about them
Yeah,
together.
because they're also all gonna get compared in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna move these up here. Um,
I have my ranking. I'm sure you have yours. The chat clearly
has
has
theirs.
it.
Yeah, I think what I've learned in the last month of actually, yeah, tomorrow's the first 1 month anniversary of the stream, so
Oh, is
that's
it
fun.
really?
Yeah, the 1st of January is when we launched, so it's been good. I will say throughout that time, what I've learned about Daquan is that Daquan is very passionate about his hot sauces and has hella opinions on them. And I appreciate that. I respect that. I also like Cholula a lot, Daquan.
Cholula is good. I
It's
like
so
Cholula as
good, and
well.
like that's the one hot sauce that Liana fucks with, so it kind of it's in our house now permanently.
Yeah.
And I love it. But I went with like we ended up going with the three that I think I've just had around for the longest for the last couple because I came onto Cholula late. I came onto like a variety of hot sauce game a lot later. But to talk about these three real quick, so let's finish off talking about like where would you want to put Frank's then ultimately in all this?
Okay, here's the thing. It's like I feel like the things that are in it's just sauce. Like I feel stronger about Frank's than I do some of those things, but it's not a dip 'em. So it's like it's a very very weird situation for me because I know that I can't convince you to let it go to awesome sauce
Right.
because you don't feel very strongly about it. But for me, like it's not a dippable, so it doesn't make sense to go to dip them.
Yeah, so like, and that's the thing with Dip'em. I don't like so much for the name. It's mostly just like, does it end up? Is it second? Is it silver medal amongst these sauces? Right? Is it the second place
Right.
tier? Um, but I can't let it go forward for the same reason I couldn't let tartar sauce go forward. It's because
Hmm.
I personally can't see it being utilized in more than like 3 or 4 areas, but I really enjoy it in those 3 or 4 areas.
Right.
So that's why I would still advocate for it's just sauce. But you have allowed me some wiggle room here. I'm willing to give you the wiggle room on this as well if you feel very strongly about it.
I just feel like I feel as strong about Frank's as I do almost about salsa.
Wow.
And even though it's not a dippable, and I think that's the blockage for me, is that like when I'm thinking about dip 'em, I'm
Hmm.
thinking about dips. I just feel like if we are putting it in it's just sauce, like it's the top of that for me. I really, really, really love Frank's. I don't know if it's just because like I grew up with it. It was always in my house.
Yeah.
Um, it's just I don't know. I just feel like it's just very accessible. I feel like it works on a lot of things. Yeah, maybe it's not as versatile as a sriracha, but it's just I don't know. The things that I use it for, I just can't imagine using. Well, maybe I don't know. Maybe I could use something else, and it's just like it's just a thing of comfort for me, and I'm just very familiar with it. But I just feel like I feel stronger about Frank's than I do about yellow mustard. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So for me, it's got to be above those things. It's just finding the landing point.
Okay, we can put it here for now because I do think, based on the fact that we don't have anything on the top tier, which I renamed them to Sauce Boss and Awesome Sauce because the dip 'em thing was getting a little
Okay.
bit confusing.
Okay, that I feel
Yeah.
better about. Like I feel like I want to put Frank's in awesome sauce.
Okay. Okay, I'm willing to put it there for now, and then we can talk about it. I'm willing to put it
Okay,
there for
okay.
now.
Okay.
And then we move from there. Okay, so then the
Yeah.
next one is actually I want to talk about sriracha first if we can.
Yeah.
Um, I like sriracha. Okay, I like sriracha, and I think sriracha is overexposed. I think that in the dawn of the BuzzFeed era, where like we were getting all the quizzes and all the taste tests and all the like the food recipes becoming a trend that you got to see, sriracha got taken over by the hipsters and got brought into the mainstream, which I don't hate because I think it was not really given its due. Now it's just overexposed. It's not like my favorite thing about sriracha is the fact that most hot sauces, Frank's one of them, Tabasco one of them, there is a taste to it. Whereas with sriracha, I commonly found personally that it didn't leave a taste as much as it just made my food spicy, which I liked. I want that. But I think it's way too overexposed. I think it became like this legendary tier type like propaganda on it. I didn't really agree with that. For me, this is a good hot sauce, but I want it on the record that I do not think it is the best thing since sliced bread because it really isn't. But yeah, that's where I'm at with the sriracha.
Yeah, I mean, I feel basically the exact same. I feel like we've agreed on a lot of things here, but I feel the same as that. Like, it's good, and the things that it works on, it is good on those things.
Mm.
But I feel strongly about Frank's over Sriracha. But I will take the point that Phil has made to me that, like, about Sriracha being more versatile. Um, for example, sriracha mixed with mayo to make like a sriracha mayo
Mm.
type sauce. Delicious. Not something I would think to do with Frank's. So if you're looking to make like a spicy mayo easily by mixing two things, sriracha makes a lot of sense. I'll give it that. It's got a sweetness to it. It's almost like ketchupy.
Yeah.
And so I think that it works in a lot of situations that like a cayenne sauce wouldn't work because of like how like vinegary it is and
Yeah.
how like tart it is. Um, so he was saying like I would never put Frank's on pad thai, which I agree, where you would put sriracha on a pad thai and it would be fine.
Yeah.
I just think that the sweetness for me, again, I am not a big sweet person. I like the vinegariness. I like the tart. So I it's one of those things where it's like if it's the only option, I'll go for it. Or if it's like, especially with like certain types of cuisine, it makes more sense as the chili sauce to go with it.
Yeah.
But for me, I just like I am not a die for sriracha kind of person. So um I mean I have it in the house. Phil likes it a lot more.
Yeah.
But I like will have like eggs or something or some sort of like egg sandwich, and I will go for the Franks sometimes, and he'll go for the sriracha over that. Like for me, I'm always gonna choose Franks over the sriracha.
Yeah. So I think
Not that.
ultimately I want it to be made known that I'm not saying that it's not good because it's become like overexposed. I'm saying that it doesn't deserve the level of overexposedness that it's getting. Like it might deserve 70% of it. It doesn't deserve the 100% that it's getting. That's where I'm coming from with that. I do think that it mixes well with other condiments. I think that's the thing it has going for it. I do think it has versatility. I like that. It isn't that spicy, which I will give it. Daquan says it's kind of like the Eastern version of ketchup. I could see it being called that very easily. So even
I like it more than ketchup.
yeah, no, same. If there's sriracha there, I don't need ketchup. Like I'm
Yeah,
very okay with that instead
yeah,
as a substitute. Also, I feel like I could dip my nuggets in them. I can dip fries in them. Like that works fine for all of them.
yeah.
Um, I would ultimately put this kind of in the same situation as where we've put Frank's, where I would put it in the awesome sauce range right now, and then we can have a little bit of a ranking situation there, if you're
Okay.
down.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay, that leaves us with Tabasco. Tabasco does literally what it's supposed to, and it's not really just give it a kick, right? Give your food a little bit of a kick. Throw it on eggs, works fine. Throw it on your meats, works fine. Ultimately, it doesn't shatter the earth. It is not all that. It just happened to be the one that we had in our house growing up, and I grew up with this brand more than I did with others. So that's why, and I've seen it in more diners than I would have seen any of the other base hot sauces. So that's why it's on here. But yeah, Winnie, I see what you said. I see what you did there. The McNuggets, not the chicken kind of McNuggets is what we're talking about. I think it's an underwhelming hot sauce ultimately. I think like it's like the gateway hot sauce, and then you graduate into greater things and bigger varieties, and like it branches off into like there's different levels of hot sauce. Like there's your Frank's Red, then there's your Sriracha. Like there's different avenues to go, and the basic bitch of them all is the Tabasco, and that's where I would leave that. So for me, it would be either in like the it's just sauce, or even I'd be willing to put it in the condiment area.
So
So
I feel similarly about where we put it because I feel stronger about the other two than that. For me, it's some go-to for again my Caesars. I always have a bottle of Tabasco in my house or Caesars, but that's basically it. I don't really use it for anything else because I would just use Frank's instead because I feel like with Frank's, it's like if you want it to be a little spicier, you just use a little bit more of it. I feel like Tabasco is like a lot more of like a straight heat as opposed to like the vinegariness that I like about the Franks.
right.
Um, so for me, it works really well as an add-in to a drink because it doesn't change the makeup of the drink too much and just adds that little like kick of heat that you want. But I would never use it to like make like a wing sauce or something like that. So for me, the versatility against the Franks is just not there. I don't think I would put it on my eggs, but I just wouldn't. I would just grab the Franks before that. You know what I mean? Same with the eggs. It's like yeah, it would be fine on eggs, but like I would grab the Franks before that. I don't know. It's definitely a staple for me, but because the use of it for me is so specific, I feel like I can't lobby for it too hard.
Yeah, I think I came into this thinking to more strongly on Tabasco. The more we've talked, the less I've been inclined to put it in there. So, like in the upper echelon. So,
Yeah.
for me, I would either go with it's just sauce, or I would move it down to condiment, which I kind of low key want to do because it's looking kind of naked down there. So,
I mean, that would be the only reason I would put that it there. I think for me, it's just sauce a little bit more, but I see
okay.
the point about the condiment being a little bit there. If we're putting it there, it has to be about blue cheese for me because I like Tabasco and I hate blue
Yeah, no, I
cheese.
see what you're saying. Yeah, for now we'll leave it at the bottom of the it's just sauce, and then we'll see
Okay.
we'll see where
Yeah,
it
we'll
goes.
see where we end up with
Yeah.
it.
Okay. So that's all the hot sauce is done.
Yeah, I feel like that made sense to do it all in
Yeah.
one.
Okay. So it's 7:40. This might end up being a longer stream than the other tier lists. If you're cool with going there, otherwise we'll kind of try and do quick fire, a little bit more to pick
I'm
up
fine
the
with going
pace.
longer. I just
Yeah. 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 Go for it. Go for it. I'll talk to the
okay.
chat a little
You
bit.
talk, and I will be right
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
back.
Take your time. Take your time. All good. All good. All good. Yeah. So yeah, everyone, we're here, and we can talk about all this. So I'm seeing a lot of people saying they want ranch higher up. Is this still true? Should we revisit ranch at the end? Is that a thing that needs to happen? Or how higher are we talking? Higher in the it's just sauce, or up into like awesome sauce? Because I don't know if that's what I want. When he says, "No, I totally want fast food nuggets for dinner," I want fast food nuggets for dinner. That'd be awesome. I've made fish, but nuggets do sound like they would slap. But yeah, yeah. Who came up with the sauce idea? So this was I asked Jenny to come on last week, and then she wasn't able to come on for last week. Some stuff happened last second, so then that's when Mike came on, and then Jenny had the choice, and she picked condiments. So far I haven't told any guest what they should come to do a tier list on. I've asked the guests, and then they've had one ready. We talked about chips briefly on our first stream, and Phil was nice enough to do chips for the first tier list. I don't think Phil got to suggest his own. So Phil's welcome to come back to do his own at some point. But that's how that happened. This was 100% Jenny, queen of the condiments. Um, but yeah, so yeah, that's where we're at. Can I ask how sour cream ended up here? Well, Liv, the thing is that if you look at the list of condiments on Wikipedia, it was there. It kind of is like a condiment because I'm not just having it on the side with pita. It's not like hummus, you know. So that's why it's there.
What were you discussing?
Oh, first I was asked if I came up with the condiments idea, and I said no, that was all you. And then
Okay.
I was asked how did sour cream end up here, and now I was addressing why it was there. Um, but yeah, Daquan, let me know the move up ranch vote, how that goes, and then we'll see where that
Ooh.
goes. Okay.
Are there people rallying for ranch to be?
I just noticed it when we were talking about ranch initially, so I wanted to kind of give
Yeah.
them the opportunity to think that over if they wanted to. Debo, welcome to the stream. Okay, okay. So next on the list here, the chat would like maple syrup revisited. That's definitely allowed. Okay, so Daquan, if you could keep an eye on the stuff that is going to end up getting revisited. And then at the end, give me them, and we'll quick fire them at the end to see if we can move them up and down once everything's been sorted. Let's see. Also for dips, you should try the Chipotle bitchin sauce. Delicious with pita chips. What is the bitchin sauce spicy or what's going on? What's going on there? I not that I'm open to it. Very open to it is what I would say. Okay.
The question about gravy, it's like, I just think that we're looking at things that you would like commonly dip things on or like pour onto foods.
Right.
And I feel like gravy definitely falls into that category.
I think so. Gravy would have been the other one closer to salsa, where I was like, I don't know if this counts, but to me it makes sense. Like I'm willing to put it there.
Saying condiments, sauces, and dip, like
Yeah.
it kind of
Yeah.
it kind of is sauce.
Yeah, that's why there's all the slashes in the title, was to make sure that it kind of falls under one of those umbrellas.
I feel like if you're gonna dip a French fry into it, it falls into this category. So
okay, so let's go. Let's go here and did I start the hot sauce talk? I've lost track already. How about you go? You go next. I just want you to go next. Yeah.
Let's go. We still have 2 mustards on here, so we should probably not forget the mustard. Yeah. I'm going to keep making that same joke. Let's go to the Dijon mustard.
Dijon mustard. Boom. Okay. What are your thoughts on the Dijon mustard?
I love Dijon mustard. It's so good. Mm-hmm. It's like mustard but spicier, mm-hmm. which I love spice. I think that in almost every situation, and this is why I wasn't super high on yellow mustard itself, it's like, yeah, we can maybe discuss both mustards in one, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that sounds good. We get
so we'll not forget either mustard. Yeah. So for me, Dijon, I feel like overall the amount of like how I feel about it is stronger than regular yellow mustard.
Okay.
I definitely see the lanes for yellow mustard, like I was discussing. Like I feel like it definitely goes on like the smoked meat sandwich, like we were discussing. But I just feel like it's just kind of sauce, which is why we put it where it was. Mm-hmm. Whereas like Dijon mustard is just like got so much more going on. And I always forget about it. I feel like it's so underrated. I don't know. I just don't feel like I hear people like raving about Dijon mustard, but like it's so good. I don't know. I like it. I
love Dijon mustard. But not in a I'm obsessed with it kind of way. Like for me, I love all 3 mustards, and I will use all 3 mustards. But then it's a question of if all 3 are available. Like let's say I'm at a burger place and I get to pick one of the 3. I could see myself going with the Dijon because it will give it that little bit of kick, but it's also still mustard, so I'd be down with that. And like I wouldn't really be upset about that at all. I do think that I don't know how beloved mustard is. So then for the hot mustard to kind of be, well, like a little bit of a hot mustard to be chosen, I feel like that's even more of a niche. So then I don't know if I could put it up there because then it's a personal, like that's what I would want, right? So right. I don't know where this would lie for me, honestly. It could end up in the Ehesia sauce, but it's a spin on mustard that I appreciate, you know? And by spin, it's like not to say that it's a new thing to the scene. but I enjoy it personally. I do enjoy it. What are the places? Where are the places that we would see Dijon mustard? I guess that's the question. Um,
I Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things where it's like if you like mustard and you can handle a little bit of a kick, you might always replace anywhere you would put yellow mustard with
yeah.
Dijon mustard. Um, I really like it on a sandwich with mayo. When those two flavors intermingle, I was talking about this before with mayo, like spoiler, I'm way more interested in the melding of mayo and mustard than mayo and ketchup.
Okay, that's
And
alive.
so I feel like when mayo mixes with Dijon, it's like, I don't know, it's just like there's so much more going on flavor wise than regular mustard. Um, I don't know. I guess that's the thing where I'm stumped at. I feel like it's a staple in terms of mixing with other sauces. Like if you're gonna make like another type of like dip or aioli, I know
Mm.
people use Dijon mustard to make like a Caesar dressing. I don't know. I just like I feel like it has more going for it than just like regular ass
I think
mustard.
it's mustard with a glow up and in the right direction.
it's,
So if you,
it's
yeah, if you are a fan of mustard and you haven't really ventured into the Dijon because like, oh, it's gonna be spicy, give it a try. It's not spicy
it's
really.
really not that spicy.
Yeah.
It's just got a little bit of more of a punch.
Yeah.
Like they're hotter mustards. I forget the name of it, but there's like this little jar of like a hot mustard that like my parents always have in their fridge, and they have it with like ham, like a
Like a Grey Poupon.
yeah. It's not
Yeah.
Grey Poupon though. It's I forget the name of it, but it's like a it's you don't need much of it because it only comes in like a little jar,
Mm.
and you just like take a knife to spoon it out,
Okay.
a knife to spoon it. Um, and it's way, way, way spicier than Dijon mustard. But that's like the mustard for like the hardcores.
Yeah.
And it's good, but it's just not as functional as the Dijon mustard. Dijon is just like mustard for people who like a little bit more of a punch.
Yeah. Okay.
I am drinking. Sorry, Shan asked in the chat what I'm drinking. I'm drinking a Cottage Springs vodka soda Ontario peach.
Nice.
It's delicious, so good.
So then Dijon can just be a step above mustard then,
I think that that's
and it's
fine.
just sauce.
It's
Okay.
definitely above regular mustard for me.
And then what's your opinion on sweet mustard then?
So honey Dijon, again, I feel like I've been banging this drum the entire time. I'm not big on the sweet variations of things. I don't
Mm.
like I said about the relishes. Like I don't really like either, but I'm
Yeah.
definitely way more about the dill than the sweet. Same kind of goes for the mustard where like I would take the honey mustard over a lot of things, but it's definitely the lower tier of the mustards for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there is, I like it as a dressing, however, honey mustard dressing for a salad is awesome. I was literally just talking about this the other day with Phil. I don't know if is Freshie in Canada only.
Freshy.
It's like I don't know, it's like a healthy chain. And they have like really overpriced salads and shit. Anyway, they have like a cob. Well, they used to have this Cobb salad. Again, I don't get the hard boiled egg because you know how I feel about hard boiled eggs now.
Oh, there's
And blue
Freshy in
cheese. I would.
Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, and it had a honey mustard dressing, and
Mm-hmm.
it's so good.
That.
I feel like it's good for that,
Yeah.
but I think that that's the only time that I'm really going for honey mustard is in like a salad kind of situation.
Okay. Yeah. So that's the thing. Honey mustard, I think, goes best out of the three for me with salads, arguably. And then I think it's the best for dipping stuff in. Like, and
Right.
specifically, I'm thinking nuggets. I mean,
Nuggets.
I love hot mustard, so I always go for that if it's there for my nuggets. But I love sweet mustard just the same. They will all end up in the. If I have anything to say, I think they all end up right next to each other on this list. It's just a matter of preference of where they end up going.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. Like you said, I wasn't thinking about it when I was thinking of the salad situation, but a honey mustard dipping sauce for nuggets is really good.
yeah.
I feel like it's just such a good baseline sauce because it's like it's got that tanginess of the mustard, but the sweetness. So it's like it's the I feel like it's a crowd pleaser. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
It, it pleases this crowd.
Jake One says, I just don't like that there is mayo and honey mustard. I did not know that to be the
There's
case.
mayo and honey mustard? What?
Wow. Did not know that. That's crazy. Wow. Okay.
I
Well,
I feel I need to look this up
yeah, I'm
after.
okay to leave it here though. I'm okay to
Yeah,
leave
that's
it
good.
where
No,
it
I'm good
is.
with that. With that.
Yeah.
And I think that the fact that we feel like pretty like I think the thing with mustard is like if you're either a mustard person or you're not a mustard person.
Right.
So I think it makes sense to have them all grouped together. But I thought it was important to include them all on the list because I don't know. I just think that like some are better in certain scenarios over others.
Yeah. Okay.
Dijon's best.
It's mayo, mustard, and honey. That makes sense. That makes sense. The
Oh.
honey. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. So then let's just.
All of the good things.
Yeah. Let's skip to one that I think is going to be a quick conversation. Let's go to hollandaise sauce.
Oh my god.
It's like tartar sauce all over again. With eggs Benedict, fuck me up. I will always order the eggs Benedict because I want hollandaise sauce.
Yes.
So, and like depends on the establishment. I've had it at places where I've not liked it; it's too buttery. But then I've had it at places that it's just perfect. So,
You can definitely fuck it up.
yeah,
like,
it's very easy to ruin it. You can
Yeah.
very much like if you don't have the perfect ratio, you can ruin it. But on eggs Benedict,
and it's hard to make too. I don't think I've ever made it myself.
I don't think I've never done that. I've never bought it either. I've
It
only
takes
had
a
it
lot
at
of
restaurant.
stirring.
Yeah. All right.
Or
Let's
whisking,
see.
if
Someone's
you will.
asking what hollandaise sauce is. I can search this up, right?
It's
That's
like
the thing I can do.
lemon, butter, and egg. I don't know. Phil, what's hollandaise sauce?
Let's see.
Just eggs and lemon? It's eggs, lemon, and oil, apparently.
Yeah, egg yolk, lemon, Dijon salt, cayenne pepper into a blender for
Dijon.
5 minutes. Damn. I mean, that sounds good,
butter.
but I'm not about
Yeah,
to
so
make it.
it's eggs, butter, and lemon. Okay. It's so good. It's a lot of butter.
Yeah.
It's so good. Like so I agree with you. The situations in which I have hollandaise sauce are very specific. It's always a breakfast situation. But here's the thing I'll tell you. It doesn't have to just be eggs Benedict for me. If I'm at a breakfast place, and this is, again, speaking to how much I love sauces, if I'm at a breakfast place, even if I'm not getting the eggs Benedict, if I can get hollandaise sauce, if they have hollandaise sauce on their menu, I will get a side of it to either put on an omelet if I get an omelet, or even just dip my like hash browns into. Like I go crazy for hollandaise sauce.
Yeah.
And I will and they'll almost never give me enough. I'm rabid about it. It's so good.
See, I've never thought of doing that. Like Mandy just said, I've never thought of doing I've never thought of, oh, I can just order something else and get a side of that. Then I have both worlds. I've been like, I have to get the eggs Benedict, so I can't.
Oh, I know.
That's stupid of me.
Even if it's not listed as like an option on like I will be that bitch to be like, can I get a side of hollandaise? Because like I know if they have eggs Benedict on the menu, they'll figure out a way to punch it in to charge me for it. I don't even care how much it costs.
I'll pay the $2.
Charge me $5. I want it. I need it. It's so good.
No, and it is one of the because I'm the type of person like I don't like. If something is not how am I supposed to put this? I don't like when the sauce just drips on all my food. I like to choose how to put my sauce on there. With hollandaise,
are you like a person that like you don't want your food to touch?
I personally would always avoid having my salad on the same plate as my food because I don't want the dressing and like the water from the salad mixed in. Yeah.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah, hollandaise sauce, just fucking put it on there. Like it works with everything on the table. I love it, and the more we're talking about it, I'm like more happy about it. So
it's so good.
I think ultimately though, here's the problem with it: the risk factor of it being not good, because when it's good, it's God tier. But when it's fucked up, it is ruining my experience because I've been waiting for it. I've been anticipating it. I get it, and it's not what I wanted. So I would want to put this in the middle.
I feel very strongly that I need this in awesome sauce.
And
So
bottom of awesome sauce is where I would
I
put it.
can do it. I can
Yeah.
handle it being bottom of awesome sauce, but like here's the thing is like I said, you can fuck it up. Or sometimes if you go to a breakfast place like late in the day and like the hollandaise they've made for the day has been like sitting for a while, it's like kind of chunky and
Oh,
gross. Because it's butter, right? Like so
yeah.
the butter can get even then I'm still enjoying it. It's like one of those things where it's like, oh, this is kind of gross. I shouldn't like this, but I'm still glad I have it.
Mm.
So for me, it's one of those things where it's like even you can fuck it up. You definitely can fuck it up.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've had it where it's too buttery. Sometimes I've had it's too lemony. It's too thick or it's too thin. But like when it's good, it's so fucking good.
Yeah.
And I will order it every time. I don't care where I am. If it's on the menu, I will get it if it's breakfast.
Okay.
So I feel very strongly that I wanted an awesome sauce, but
Okay.
lower awesome sauce is fine.
I like what Detective Popeye said. If we're judging salsa at its best, we should judge hollandaise at its best, and that honestly would
That's
give
a
it
good
the
point.
push I want.
Because some jarred salsa is so trash.
I would put it above the hot sauce, to be honest with you, to the hot sauce.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Okay.
I love hollandaise sauce.
Yeah. But yeah, the mustard's wedge. The mustard's fine. Like, then that's the thing is that mustard is, yes, it's the most like available. It's more versatile, but at the end of the day, it's not. I'm never gonna go to a place like this place has the best mustard. Like that's never
Yes.
gonna happen. And
you have to weigh the excitement about
yeah, and the experience.
sauce.
Like I know that it goes underappreciated, but it's just there now. So that's why it's just
Yeah.
it's just sauce because it really is just sauce.
I mean, I think that that's still pretty good ranking for
Yeah.
mustard.
Yeah. So I want to just quickly stop here for a second because I know
Yeah.
we're gonna be here for a little longer. I know that there's a sequester game happening, so a bunch of people are gonna jump off now. Thank you for being here. You can always come back and watch this on the VOD. It'll be here for the next 2 weeks, so you're good on that. If you enjoyed, being here, give us a follow. I'll be back tomorrow with Which One Wednesday. That'll be a good time guaranteed. If you would like to leave a donation, Daquan can set up the prompt in the chat. It's not necessary, but it is always appreciated. So thank you for that. With that said, we move. We continue. Magnum, thank you for the follow. Okay, so let's go. Here, but we also have a Catan game we have to get to after this.
It's fine. We can bust through this.
Well, I mean,
It's
we're
fine.
2 out of the 4 there, so I feel like we get
Yeah.
a bit of a say. Okay.
We really dictate what's going on.
We good. Okay, so let's go with ketchup. We've waited
All
this
right.
long to not talk about what I would
I
argue
know,
is
I loved it.
the OG condiment, the first one.
Yeah,
I would
it's
discuss.
like it's what you think about when you think of a condiment.
Yeah, which
right?
funny
like,
enough,
it's in everyone's house probably.
Yeah. When I went to pull the pictures for this, ketchup was the one I forgot to pull, and I had to go back to pull. So, yeah.
So it's not forget the mustard. It's literally forget the ketchup.
Forget the ketchup, literally. I think ketchup was a great gateway condiment. I learned a lot about it. I enjoyed it. It was great. It went well with fries. I had it with my nuggets. I had it with a lot of things growing up because that was the first. That was the one I knew. But then I got grown. I learned and I followed through and ended up getting well educated on different condiments and started doing new things with it. And finding other ways to go, other avenues. Ketchup at this point never goes beyond fries for me, really. I know that, like, it goes well with some other things, but I'm not proud of it. Like, I had a friend who would empty half a bottle of ketchup with her grilled cheese, and that was disgusting. I've had a bite of grilled cheese with ketchup, and it works with that, but I don't need it. I don't ever need ketchup. It's just there, and it's underwhelming at this point. And there's different versions of ketchup now. There's like sriracha. I feel like is a good substitute for ketchup. There's a spicy Heinz ketchup that works as well. But it's just there. It's just a condiment for me.
I'm a ketchup hater.
Wow.
I feel wrong to bin it because I would eat it. I would take it over having no condiment whatsoever.
Right.
So it's like, so say you show up somewhere. Okay, first of all, Fries. That's definitely the one thing where I'm like, okay, I would rather eat fries with ketchup than fries on its own. I am I love me some sauce, some dip. I want my food wet. And so if I if the decision is ketchup or nothing, I will do ketchup.
Yeah.
But ugh, it's just like not, it just doesn't do anything for me. It's too sweet. It isn't uh, I don't even know what the flavor is. It's like sweet tomato. I don't know.
It's
It's just a weird thing to
and
me.
it's
And
just a lot of calories for nothing. It's
exactly,
a
and that's
lot of
why
sugar.
I just feel like that's why like mustard is so much better. It's just like it's no calories and it packs more of a punch. And for me, ketchup is just like you said, I'd rather have sriracha. It's got that same sort of like thickness
Yeah.
and like sweetness that ketchup has, but like more of a punch.
Hmm.
So I would like if there was ketchup and sriracha in the fridge and I made like a grilled cheese, for example, I would do sriracha before I would do ketchup.
Right. Yeah.
Um, but I've seen so yeah, I had a roommate in university that was like a ketchup fiend, and she would go through bottles so quickly, and like
It's
I was never using it because I was like, it's fine.
yeah.
And she was like constantly buying new ketchup, and I just like I couldn't wrap my head around needing that much. Now I shouldn't judge too much because when I like another sauce, I want all of it. I need a lot of it. I like
Yeah.
it very doused, but for ketchup, I don't know. For me, it's just so sweet, and I
Hmm.
just can't get past that. So I feel very strongly because I would still eat it and take it. You know, if I'm at a barbecue, and there's like burgers, or for example, and there's like a bunch of condiments, I would probably still put ketchup on my burger.
Yeah.
Um, so I think for that reason, I would put it in condiment, but I'm very low on ketchup in general.
Yeah, I would put it in condiment and at the bottom because it literally is like if there was a reason why that tier is named that, it's ketchup because it's just
Yeah,
there and
yeah,
it's just underwhelming. It's not even a like there's better versions of it out there. There's better twists on it. There's less calorie options out there. And like it's the perfect condiment to introduce children to condiments. But then
right.
beyond that, it's not really needed.
Or
So
to make them eat foods that are dippable. I
yeah.
don't know, like, but it's just yeah, it's very baseline for
Yeah,
me.
give it to me in
But
hot dogs, give
people
it to me in burgers, give it to me with fries. But if it's not there, I can easily be okay with just mustard on my burger. I can easily do mustard on my hot dogs, and I can easily find something else to dip the fries in. I don't even need it with fries, really. I don't need anything with
and
fries, so
I also find it gross in like big capacities. Like
it
if
does
I
have a
get a
limit. Once it's
burger,
too much, once you're eating a clump of
yeah,
ketchup, it's disgusting.
if
So
you get a burger that has too much ketchup on it, I'm like, oh, why did you do this to me? And I love sauce,
yeah,
so it's definitely one for me where it's like too much is not the right combination.
yeah, okay,
Okay, that I'm glad that that wasn't contentious
no.
because there are people that feel very strongly about ketchup.
All right, so next one's yours on the board here.
Let's go with garlic
Thank you,
sauce.
Francis. Garlic sauce. Okay, sure.
Oh my gosh.
Garlic sauce slash dip, because they're kind of different, but they kind of do the exact same thing. So there's like the creamy garlic dip you get at a pizza place, and then there's the garlic sauce that you get at a shawarma place. And
Shawarma.
yeah. And for me, the first thing that came to mind is the shawarma wine.
Yeah,
This
me
is
too.
incredible, and I would eat this every time I go to a shawarma place. I get it. There's two places where I wouldn't. It used to be when when I was on a date, I wouldn't do this. You don't want the too garlic breath is a thing, and this is like the garlickiest of breaths. And also the next day feel is horrendous if you're having this late night. I'm just gonna put that out there. Flavorful as fuck, delicious, but beyond, I don't want it outside of a shawarma situation. I don't, and I know
Right.
you can have it. You can argue that, but I don't want it there. Otherwise, it's god tier for the shawarma stuff. It's kind of like in the same vein as the tartar sauce for me, where I don't need it in other places, but I know that people who like garlic, love this sauce.
I love garlic. I am very, very big on garlic. The first time I had shawarma and I had garlic sauce, I was like, this is the most amazing thing I've ever tasted. It's so good. The easiest way for me to introduce me to something is to just cover it in a flavorful sauce, and I'm in.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm that person that wants extra all the time.
Yeah.
Give me the extra garlic sauce. Phil and I got shawarma a couple weeks ago, and we got extra garlic sauce, and it was a new place we hadn't ordered from them before, and it was just like so good. It
It's
was like
so
the
good.
best garlic
Yeah,
sauce
it's
I've ever had.
delicious.
And we ordered too much because they were very generous with the sauce on the shawarma. So we had extra ones on the side, and we're like, what are we gonna do with this extra garlic sauce? And I was like
Yeah.
dreaming up things that I could do with it because I just wanted to have a reason to eat more of it. But that said, the uses for it I think are kind of limited.
Yeah.
Um, but oh my god, it's so good. And like if we're talking away from the shawarma and more towards like the garlic dipping sauce for pizza, again, I will
If the
eat all of
pizza, yeah, if the pizza's
it.
bland, if the pizza's trash, if the crust is awful, you can just slather some of this on and it's
Slather it.
fine. It'll pass and it'll
Yeah.
be good. I think the fact that it's a little bit more exciting than most of the it's just sauce. I would maybe put it in the bottom of the awesome sauce is where I'm
I
looking
agree.
at right now.
I completely agree. I was
Okay,
exactly what I was thinking. Bottom of
perfect.
awesome sauce.
There. All right. Whoa, we're almost there. Okay, this is awesome.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Wait, that was me. So
That
this
was
is your
you?
choice.
My go.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Shout out to the 42 of you who are still here.
Yeah.
Love you, appreciate you. Thank you for being on this journey. Let's go with sweet and sour sauce next.
Okay.
Um, Love sweet and sour sauce. It is like the best of both worlds. It kind of does everything. But I will say, outside of, the dip at McDonald's for the nuggets, and then specifically with Chinese food, I don't have it anywhere else. I enjoy it, but also it can be overwhelming. There can be too much. You can bite into a piece of chicken that has too much sweet and sour on it. Don't love that. So it would kind of be I'm like lukewarm on it now that we've talked about most of these, even though when I put it on the list, I wanted to rate it higher.
Okay. So when we were talking about barbecue sauce earlier, I was saying that it was not like my sauce of choice if I got nuggets or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to be a sweet and sour sauce girl. If I got like McNuggets from McDonald's, I always got the sweet and sour sauce on the side.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking about how I wasn't into barbecue sauce, and my appreciation for barbecue sauce has grown as an adult. I feel like sweet and sour sauce has been the opposite. I liked it a lot more when I was a kid, and
Mm-hmm.
now I am just very met on it, and it's almost like a last resort sauce for me.
Yeah.
I would actually, I mean, we were discussing that like a lot of places have a lot more varieties of like dipping sauces for like nuggets, for example. Now, I'm gonna shout out McDonald's has this like habanero dip. It's so
Mm-hmm.
good. So I would get that if I could. However, if we're looking back into like the 90s when like the choices were barbecue sauce and sweet and sour, if it were today, I think I would actually choose barbecue sauce over sweet and sour sauce, and I would not have done that when I went in the 90s. I think it's just too sweet, and it's just like I don't know. It's just like it doesn't have the same appeal to me, and I feel like my palate has changed, and it
Yeah.
just does not wow me anymore. And it's one of those things again where it's like, hey, here are some McDonald's fries. Oh, the only option we have is sweet and sour. I will still get it,
Mm-hmm.
but it would probably be that and ketchup are my last options in
It
terms of the dipping
Yeah, no,
sauces.
it can very, very easily overwhelm any meal that it's on. It really can.
Yeah.
Like there is such a thing as too much sweet and sour. There is. We've had it. I've ordered Chinese food before where there's so much of it that once I'm done having my sweet and sour chicken, I can just dip my egg roll in it if I wanted to. Like there's so much left over because it's too much available. So for me, I would put this in like as much as there's no other sauce quite like it, I would put it in either meh or bottom of it's just sauce.
For me, it's condiment.
Okay, I'm fine with
And I
that.
feel pretty like it's pretty straightforward for me that it's condiment.
Above ketchup though, because ketchup
I
is
can
yeah,
I can put it above ketchup because it's a little bit more dynamic than ketchup.
yeah.
But Yeah.
Okay.
I there's almost always a better option for me.
Yeah. So what would you want? Okay, actually, yeah. So it is your turn. What would you want next here? We've got a couple.
Um,
There's a couple that I quite don't care about a lot at the
yeah.
end here, which makes sense why they've been picked last. But
What is the thing from the second from the left? I can't see it on the
this one, second from the
uh,
left, this one.
next to the aioli and the sour cream. Yeah. What's
Next,
that?
this one.
No.
Okay, so
Oh
I'm
God.
not gonna
Now
move
you
them now.
okay.
Which number?
Yeah.
Which number? The third one?
Okay, well you're
Oh, I am ahead of you because I'm looking at my screen.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I'm not moving
Okay.
anything
Hey,
anymore.
don't touch anything.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
the last thing now, next to the sour
It's
cream.
mayo, regular mayo.
Oh, that's mayo?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I want to go there yet.
Okay.
Let's go to gravy.
Okay. Um, I love poutine. This is a big thing on poutine. I love mashed potatoes. Goes really well with mashed potatoes. You get quite go. It's great with a Thanksgiving dinner. Like gravy
Hmm.
is amazing. Gravy is boss. It doesn't take much to make it, and it always is. Usually is a good time. Obviously, there when gravy like solidifies and congeals, it's kind of gross to look at. Um, but for the most part, I'm more often okay with gravy than not okay with gravy. What do you feel about gravy?
Poutine is probably my favorite food.
Same.
Um,
It's up there. It's in my top three. Easy.
yeah. Like I definitely think that gravy is like the best thing to dip potatoes in. I'm
Chicken,
like,
fried chicken and gravy
yeah.
is amazing.
I love mashed potatoes and gravy. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's just so good. It's salty. I love salty stuff. Um, and I like my only problem with gravy is that like it can be fucked. Like it's kind of what I was talking about with
Yeah.
hollandaise sauce. Like my feelings about poutine is like when you get a great poutine, like it's like next level. And then like sometimes you'll go to a place and like you'll get a poutine and like the gravy's really like thin and like flavorless or something. And that really sucks. But I just feel so passionate about gravy in general that
Hmm.
like it's one of those things where it's like if there's a choice to get gravy on the side of something, like I'll get it. If I go to a restaurant, if I'm choosing to get something that comes with fries, I'm asking if I can get gravy on the side.
Yeah.
Like that is just such a go-to for me. I really, really, really love it. Like poutine is like a death row meal for me. A good poutine if I know it's going to be
Yeah.
good. So for me, it's like I'm pretty high on gravy.
Yeah. No, gravy I'm high on as well. I don't think it's in the sauce boss realm ultimately because, like, actually, it could be in the discussion. I'm not unwilling to put it in the God tier right now.
I mean, I'm not unwilling either. Like, I don't think if you told me going into this
Gravy would be
that
top.
I would put it there, but now that we're there, I'm like, if I'm looking at the things that are in awesome sauce, I feel stronger about gravy do
Yeah.
everything there.
I just can't picture anything that gravy goes with that it doesn't elevate. You know?
It helps everything it's a part of.
Exactly. Whereas there's other things where it's like, oh, I could live without it here. Oh, this isn't great. Oh, this is fine. But
I'm
I
not interested in potatoes without gravy. Like I'm not interested in mashed potatoes without
right.
gravy.
I think
But
it elevates it. I think
mashed potatoes with gravy is just like sign me the fuck up.
yeah.
Let's go.
So crazy enough, gravy, sauce boss.
I'm for
Wow.
it.
I did not think this was happening coming in, to be
I didn't
honest with
think
you.
so either,
But
but it feels right. Now that I'm
yeah.
seeing where everything's landing, it makes sense
No,
to
that's the
me.
beauty of doing these tier lists and not ranking them ahead of time. Is like coming
Yeah.
in and just seeing what goes down is insane. Um, but yeah. So here's where we're at. Okay, and then next, did you say gravy? I think you said gravy.
I said gravy,
You
yeah.
said gravy. So, okay, I added this last. And I think I know where I want to put it.
Hmm.
Let's talk about soy sauce.
Okay.
I'm a big sushi person. I'm a big all-you-can-eat sushi person. It's always at the table. It's needed. It goes well with it. It's great with noodles. Like I enjoy soy sauce, but also I don't. If you told me it doesn't, it oh I forgot to put the soy sauce in it, I would not notice unless you tell me. You know what I mean? Like that's
I mean,
that's that's where I'm at with the soy sauce. It's just there.
it's so weird how like on the same page we are about
Yeah.
so many things. So, I love sushi as well. I'm definitely a I need to have soy sauce with my sushi. We got gluten-free soy sauce for the purpose of me being able to eat sushi.
Oh. Yeah.
Because there's wheat in regular soy sauce, I guess. So I feel like it's a necessity with certain things, but I'm not like a so I guess the other thing that I should probably preface this with is that like I'm not a big Chinese food person.
Okay.
It's probably and this is like a point of contention with Phil and I is because he loves Chinese food and I don't think we've gotten Chinese food together ever
Damn.
because I don't like it. First of all, I can't eat like any of it. It's all like deep fried. It's all like noodles. Like it's all like if you're
Right.
allergic to wheat, you pretty much can't eat any of it.
Yeah.
Like, at least with like Thai food, Indian food, like some of these other like cuisines, you can like anything that's like rice centric. You can use
There's
something if you're
substitutes
allergic to
for
wheat.
it.
Or
Yeah.
I just feel like with like Chinese food, at least Canadian Chinese food, so much of it is just like a no go for me.
Yeah.
But also, it's just like I'm just not that excited about it. So for me, like the amount of uses for it are very limited,
Mhm.
and like a lot of the times, like you were saying, like oh, I forgot to add the soy sauce, like I wouldn't notice. It's just kind of got a salty taste,
Yeah.
and I think that I could just add salt and like I would be okay with it. Um, the only thing I can think of where I don't think it would be the same without it is sushi, and that's it. That's literally it.
Yeah.
So I just feel like I could live without it. So I'm very much not high on it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to decide if this is in the meh or in the it's just sauce because I think that the soy sauce for me ultimately is that like sodium taste, like
Mm-hmm.
the hella sodium. So I don't think I would miss it all that much. I do think the only time where I'm most cognizant of how much soy sauce I'm consuming is while I'm having sushi, and other than that, I don't really notice it. So, you know what? Maybe I've convinced myself I would put it in. I'll put it in it's just sauce. That's where I would put it. Kind of like,
For me,
yeah.
I would say it's probably condiment,
Hmm.
but just because again now that we've got enough things in the tiers, like I'm looking at the other things and I
Yeah.
just feel like so many things in it's just sauce I like way more than soy sauce, and I'm thinking about buying for that.
Yeah. No, that's
um,
fair. I think yeah.
so
I've put it now ahead of ketchup and sweet and sour right now. I don't
I
know why
mean,
blue cheese is up there. You know, like I feel like it should be more like this, if anything. That's
like
fine.
you know how I feel about blue cheese,
Yeah.
but
Okay. So we're almost at the end. So here's what I think we should do, Jenny. Is I
okay.
think there's mayo and there's aioli. We can go back to back with those at the end. Make those the last two.
Okay,
So then, with that said, I don't remember whose turn is it, but do you want to go sour cream or honey? Because we're almost at the end
Let,
here.
let's go sour cream.
Let's go sour cream. Okay, sour cream is unique because I feel like sour cream was something I'd literally never had outside of sour cream and onion chips. And then when I moved to Canada, I was introduced to the pierogi life. Goes with that. I was introduced to like taco night. Goes with that. And I
Mhm.
enjoy it. It is there. It is like the one cold item in an otherwise hot environment, if that makes sense. Like with all the fixtures there, it's like the
Yeah.
cool one.
Yes.
I like it. I know some people worship it. I don't care for it all that much. I could, if it wasn't there, I wouldn't miss it. Taco night's not ruined. Pierogi night's not ruined. I'll find something else to do with my life there. I will still eat the pierogies and be fine. I'll still eat the taco and I'll be fine. But it isn't all that for me. It really isn't. If I'm being honest, it would be in the meh category. But I'm interested to find out what your gauge is on the sour cream because, like I said, I know that there are people who live by it and love it.
So I'm definitely higher on it than you are.
Okay.
It's one of those things where it's like I think it can be versatile in terms of being used to make other things, which I think is an important consider.
Hmm.
Um, but the thing I will say about sour cream, so there are a lot of things that I think that I need to have sour cream. So for me, I actually feel like taco night would be ruined without sour cream.
Wow.
If I get like a burrito bowl, I need sour cream in it. But my feelings about sour cream is like sometimes it kind of grosses me out, and I don't like to get too much of it. It's one of those like, and I love sauce. Like this has been the thing I've been saying the entire night.
Yeah.
Like I love thing. I put too much of it on all the time. That one thing where it's like if I get like a giant bite of just sour cream, I'm kind of like, ugh. I don't know. I don't know if it's like something to do with like the fact that I'm thinking about what it actually is, and that grosses me out.
Yeah.
But it is a staple for me in like Tex Mexican cuisine. Like
Hmm.
I want it on the side of my nachos. I want it like in a burrito or on my burrito bowl. I like it for my tacos. I think it's actually like so I've talked a lot about ranch with hot wings. In place of ranch, I would do some sour cream on the side as the cooling factor for hot wings. Um, so I think I would say I'm way higher on it than you, but again, it's not a hill for me to die on.
Okay.
But I feel stronger about it than condiment, I think.
So you'd be in the it's just sauce
I
realm.
think I would
Okay.
because
I'm okay with that. Where
I
in
just
the
can't think
it's
of
just
enough
sauce?
places. Like I think I can just think of enough things where like it wouldn't be the same without it.
Okay. Um. So
It's good on a baked potato. Sorry, I'm still
yeah,
thinking
no, that's
things
true.
that I'm gonna use
Which
sour
I
cream
actually
for.
have made baked potato today. So would it be higher than ranch for you? Is what I would ask you.
Um, I actually think it would.
All
I think
right.
it would. I think I have more uses for it than ranch.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
But I'm not like super like it's not a huge deal if it's below ranch.
Hmm.
I just think that like again, I'm thinking of all of like the Tex Mexican things that I would eat it with that I feel like it's irreplaceable with.
Yeah.
Um, whereas like with ranch, like I said, like one of the top things that I would have ranch with are like hot wings, and I literally said I could do sour cream instead of ranch.
Yeah.
But I'm not putting ranch on my fucking nachos, you know?
No.
So I think that for me, that's the decider.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That leaves us with honey. Um. Now I didn't really use honey as a condiment like that, to be honest.
Hmm.
All that often. And then I had honey dip for my nuggets. Worked beautifully. I've been using honey to kind of marinate stuff. Worked real nice. I think it's great. I think it's a good breakfast side to have ready at the go. If you don't have syrup, you can just substitute honey. You'll be okay. But I think ultimately, after this longer conversation today, I just don't see it going beyond eh. So, what are your thoughts on honey?
Yeah, I'm low on honey. Again, I'm not a big sweet person. I know that a lot of people like it for their nuggets. Again, I would go sweet and sour before a honey because you get the sweetness and more than just that. Just feel like it's one tone and it's not a separate tone, you
Yeah.
know? Um, so I don't even know what I've ever really had honey on. I don't think I've really ever had honey on its own as a dip or a sauce on anything. Like I knew a lot of people when I was younger would do like peanut butter and honey sandwiches. Is that a thing? I had it only
I've
for peanut
had
butter
I've
sandwich.
had what have I had honey with? I've had it in like on a toast with something, but I don't remember what exactly it would have been with. But honey's fine. Honey with fried chicken is delicious too. Susan just pointed out, which I
Yeah,
appreciate. Like,
I guess I can see it like in the contrast with like a certain flavor, but I just like I don't know. It's just it's really condiment for me. Like it's not one of those things where it's like I would be like absolutely no. Like but I'm really struggling to come up with a situation that I would have it
yeah,
where I wouldn't choose something else on the board.
yeah. I think okay. I think might put it in the condiment, to be honest.
Yeah,
Um,
I feel the same. And I feel
yeah.
like pretty low in it too in that. tier.
Yeah. Okay. I'd still put it above ketchup. I think again, to
I
me,
think that I'm fine
yeah,
with it
ketchup
being above ketchup.
is the poster child for just meh. Honey
But
garlic
honey
chicken.
garlic,
Yeah, honey garlic's a different league. We should have put it in
yeah, we
here. It would have
did.
been higher, but I do
I'd
like
be
honey garlic.
higher on honey garlic. So, like, if we're talking about honey garlic, sweet and sour, and honey, like,
Honey
I
garlic's number
feel
one.
honey garlic is the top, and then sweet and sour, and then honey.
Yeah,
Like, just
same.
again, honey is just doing one thing, and it's not even that great of a
Yeah,
thing.
but I will say the one thing for it is the only one of the condiment list here that I would enjoy is great when you're sick. If you have it and you've put it in your tea,
Like a tea,
if you use
yeah.
it, yeah, as your sweetener while you're sick, it does help a lot personally from personal experience. Okay, now we're down to the last one. We're down to the mayo and aioli conversation. Um, this is the most overrated condiment to exist. It really is. It goes well with like it's good on like a chicken sandwich, but there's better options there. It's good on anything it's good on, there's a better option out there. And it really is the most basic of the condiments at this point. And I know it goes in a lot of things. I know it's versatile, but I also just don't like it. It's the most like if I have too much of this on a thing, it like it will trigger a gag in me. Like it's too much. I can't. It's just like what is this? I don't know what I'm biting. The fact that it's a condiment that's got hella eggs in it, like I don't love that part of it at all either. But that being said, it does go with a lot of stuff that I do enjoy. It goes in a tuna salad and a potato salad. You can have it. We found out today it's used to make sweet mustard. Was it sweet mustard? I think.
Honey mustard,
Honey
yeah.
mustard. Yeah, love that.
Didn't know that.
But like, god damn, if that isn't just the most overrated thing on the planet.
See, I think that mayo is very, very controversial. And I think that it's like a love or hate condiment where like people love, love, love their mayo, or they're like, ew, that's the most disgusting thing ever. I feel like there's like a contingent of people that like hate all of um like the creamy white sauces.
Right, for the immature squad who's like probably like oh I can't. No, that's not the problem. Is biting into a pocket of mayo is like, have you ever had a McChicken from McDonald's and then you bit into it and it was just mayo?
See, I would probably like. Okay, here's the thing. It's what I was saying about sour cream, where if I get like of sour cream, that grosses me out more than a pocket of mayo.
Really?
Now that said, I like it to be dispersed better. Like
Yeah.
I'm not like, whereas like I would literally drink a gravy boat. But I do agree that a proper like layer of it that isn't too aggressive is best. The idea of getting a like squirt of mayo is not as disgusting to me as it is with sour cream. I just have to, I don't know. I never used to think of myself as like a really like a strong advocate for mayo. Who thinks about this? First of all, like I never used to think of myself as a mayo advocate, but I feel like I need to defend it a little bit here because it's just like it's so versatile. It's so usable. It's just I don't know. I can't think of anything like I can't think of a time where I've been like, you know what? The sandwich, the mayo on it, it was unnecessary. Like
Right.
I'm never ever thinking that. I'm like, oh wow, I'm so glad this is on this. And the amount of sauces that you can make with a mayo base is like endless. Like we've made like a million different like dips
Right.
based with mayo and like finding other things to mix it with, like a chipotle mayo or like I don't know, like I said earlier, like the sriracha mayo. Like we've made homemade tartar sauce with mayo. Like it's the OG, and I think I understand why you're saying like it's overrated, but I actually disagree that it's overrated because I feel like people hate it so much.
Yeah.
That it's just controversial.
I don't hate it. Like I'm roasting it, but I do recognize its greatness. I do recognize its versatility. I do recognize its like many uses, and it is a higher up tier for me. That it's not in the condiment, it's not in the binum. At worst, it's gonna be in the ehechas sauce upper level, not the bottom level of that. That's the worst place it'll be because it does go with a lot of things and it does work with a lot of things. I think it's just when there's too much of it, I hate it. That's one thing. And can I just say, while we're doing both at the same time, fuck garlic aioli. Fuck aioli. Aioli is like pretending. Aioli's out here pretending it's more than mayo, and it's not. It's literally the same. I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, what's different? It's done." I don't care. It's the same. It's just better name for a thing. And if I could choose it, I'd bin them just to like prove a point. I would bin them. It's just
Okay,
masking. Yeah.
I've never bought a like store bought aioli, so like I know that you've got like the branded one in the photo. I've never bought that.
Yeah, I just got one because it was like a jar to like put them in here.
But when you go to a restaurant that has like a garlic aioli spread on a sandwich, I'm sorry, that shit slaps. Like that's so fucking good. And I think that you're kind of disgracing it right now. I don't think it deserves to be binned. I think that it's one of those things where it's like it's probably way better homemade. I've like I said, I've never tried the Heinz version of it, so I can't say, you know, whether it's like good if you just buy it at the grocery store, but like, oh my god, like it's mayo and it's garlic. Like I'm sorry, those are two delicious things. Like I think that in certain situations it's like taking mayo and it's like, you know what, we're gonna take mayo and make it even more exciting.
No, okay, so here's the thing, right? If I may interject, I'm gonna open the browser real quick. So if you Google aioli definition, what does it say? I'll give you a second for it to pop up on the screen.
Okay.
What does it say?
Saying anything yet?
It'll pop up.
But Jenny and Phil internet, it was just so much. Okay,
Yeah.
here we go.
It's literally mayonnaise seasoned with garlic. That's it. That's all it is. It's literally mayonnaise seasoned with garlic. And
which is good. It's like
I'm not arguing
mayo.
that it isn't good, but just say mayo with garlic. Like they've renamed it to aioli and like
that's a culinary thing.
Yeah, y'all
that's
ain't fooling me with this one.
No, and that's the thing is like that's like restaurants trying to like make their burger sound fancier by saying like, you know, that it has an aioli on it and it's just a garlic mayo. But I can't deny the fact that I love mayo and I love garlic. And if you put those two, like exactly what you were saying before, like you put those two things together, like I can't be mad at it. For me, I went into this thing thinking that, I mean, it wasn't called Sauce Boss when we started, but if there was one thing that I could advocate for being Sauce Boss, it was mayo. It's just like, it's so versatile.
Yeah.
There's so many things you can put it on. And I just like think that we can't only have one thing in Sauce Boss. And like, I don't know. I just feel like if I'm going to stump for something, it has to be mayo here.
I appreciate that. And I'm willing to put it in awesome sauce. We can decide where it goes here. There's no way a Puyaism stream can have mayo in the Sauce Boss here.
Wow.
I can't live it down. There's no way. I can't do it.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, I would put it.
I'm glad we got something in Sauce Boss because, like,
it wouldn't. And that's the thing is, like, by the time we got to the end, I was like, I don't see what else could end up being there.
I just like was thinking about it in terms of like, and that's the thing is like, I'm not even like, I don't even think like, oh, like I got to get my mayo. Like, that's the thing. There's so many people that are like mayo crazy, and I wouldn't even consider myself one of those people. Like, I've gone like, you know, back when I could like eat Subway, for example. Like, I don't think I ever got mayo on my like subs, for example. But like,
yeah,
I just like, I can see all of the uses for it now. And like, when you have like a good sandwich with mayo on it, like it hits different. But I am willing to allow, it's your stream. I will not fight you on it. But I do feel strongly that if it's not going to be Sauce Boss, it needs to be an awesome sauce.
it is. And I put it in awesome sauce.
Okay.
Let's talk about aioli because I would like to chuck it in one of these two bottom ones. So where do you want to put it?
For me, it's condiment.
Okay. I'm happy with that. Because again, the fact that it's just disguised and it's like a little bit more, because then it's like, well, then there's chipotle mayo, then there's like spicy mayo, like there's then it's like now we're just judging all the types of mayo.
I would literally never buy a packaged garlic
of
aioli.
aioli.
So I think
Yeah.
that that's why I'm fine with it being in condiment,
Yeah.
because I would never purchase that as a
Yeah.
product.
So this is the final product we have here. Speaking of products, Jenny, let's just quickly look at it and then get out of here because I know that
Okay.
Rob is live as well right now.
Yes.
And then Sequester's on, so I know people have been sticking out, supporting us, and I appreciate
And
that
I appreciate
so
that.
fucking much,
Yeah.
honestly.
We've been
Um,
talking about
Sauces,
condiments and
yeah.
sauces for
This
almost
is
3 hours.
the longest stream we've had yet, so you
Oh
have the
no.
distinction of that.
Wow.
Jacob says, I hate that.
Shocking.
What do you hate, Jacob? What you talking about? Please tell me. But while you're telling me, let's look at these. So, a lot of people talked about barbecue sauce and ranch and the fact that they weren't higher up. I think looking at what ended up coming after that, which was the red hot and the sriracha, came into awesome sauce. I'd be willing to move these up. I'd be willing to move barbecue sauce a couple layers up.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't feel so passionate about barbecue sauce, but like I think that it does deserve a little bit more because of some of its specific
Yeah,
uses.
I'm
I
gonna
don't
move it
know.
up to, cause I mean, at the end of the day, if you're even trying to like get a quick like, like you wake up that morning, you're like, I want to get a barbecue going, you can easily use that and make it work. So
Yeah.
I'd put it in bottom of awesome sauce. Let's move that up there. Maple syrup up. What are your opinions on that? A couple people asked about that.
I just think like the use for it is so specific and it's different than like all of these other sauces. So like I have a hard time like
I think
rating
that
it.
it's the best of the breakfast sauce. Oh wait, no, I forgot hollandaise. Hollandaise is up there. Okay, I would
I
I
mean,
I would still be willing to put it in
they're
the bottom
very
of awesome.
different things that I use them for. So
Yeah.
like I can kind of understand that, but
Yeah.
maple syrup with chicken fingies? Maple syrup with pizza? Okay, Corey baby, I don't know what you're onto here, but and I'm Canadian. I love me some maple syrup.
Yeah. Why the fuck is mayo? I'm gonna put mayo on the bottom of awesome sauce now that I'm looking at
Come
this.
on, Puya. This is
It cannot
insane.
be the fourth best sauce on this list. It
I
just
think
can't.
I
The
was gonna
fourth
put
best?
I was gonna fucking lobby for it to be sauce boss material.
That's true. Okay,
And
it can be here.
Mel agrees with me.
It'll be in the top, but it'll be in the bottom of the top. Um, aioli's trash. Mayo's fine.
Like a
Mayo's trash.
homemade aioli is different, but I
Yeah.
like think that like branded aioli is probably trash.
Okay.
I don't trust them to get the ratio right.
So this is gonna be the final photo here. Take your
Okay.
screen caps if you need them, if you want the record. I will be downloading these streams. They will be made available in the future. Um, but this has been a long one. This has been a fun.
Sorry.
I think this. No. Don't even, because this is the first time I think in the tier list where I've been like, I can see this needing either a part two or we continue, and I was like, let's continue. Let's keep the bus going on this one. But thank you, Jenny, for entertaining me with this idea of tier listing condiments for your Tuesday afternoon, evening
I
now.
I appreciate coming. Like I said, I'm very passionate about this, and it was really fun to talk about it. And I was really surprised to find, I thought I had some hot takes, and I thought, some of my takes were going to be very unpopular, and it was comforting to find that you agreed with me on some of those
Yeah,
takes.
I
So
think some of them have been very hot takes for the chat to digest, but we've been on the same page for the most part, aside from one or two things.
yeah,
Um, so chat, those of you still here, the 38 of you still here. Tomorrow, which one Wednesday is going to be at 4 p.m., not 6, so we'll be 2 hours earlier. I know that's a change that came out of nowhere. I ended up having plans that clash with it, but that'll be fun. 2 hours of just nonsense of ranking stuff. You're not going to want to miss it. There's already a couple of great things in that list ready to go. Friday, most likely, I'm going to have Liana with me, and we're most likely going to play some GameCube. But once again, maybe we'll play Mario Party 5, 6, or 7. I do not know which one, but either one could go. So if you would like to actually go to the feedback and leave opinion on which game you want to be played there, let me know. That'll be appreciated. And until tomorrow at 4, less than 24 hours, 20 hours away, take care. Follow Jenny at Jenny Autumn. Follow me at Puyaism, and we will talk to you tomorrow. Take care.
bye.
Adios.